that hard mode, ain't no joke. Hustling in the chaos, I ain't never broke. Feeling Drado, we the three musketeers. Skipper on the beat, bringing them fist cheers. Gaming till dawn, we on that grind. Random quirky fun, we never decline. In the world of pixels, we shine like stars. Hard mode savage, we raise the bars. Craziness in the gaming, we bring the heat, no defeat. We always bring the elite, dodging obstacles, we on that mission. Fuck with us, you'll face a militia. We don't back down, we keep it real. Blasting through levels with mad skill. Emotions run high, but we stay strong. In this game of life, we always belong. Game mode savage, we on that wave. Bringing in the energy, we never behave. So if you see us, better show respect. Cause in this gaming world, we're the directs. Game mode savage, we on that wave. Bringing the energy, we never behave. So if you see us, better show respect. Cause in this gaming world, we're the direct. I'm on that hard mode, ain't no joke. Hustling in the chaos, I ain't never broke. Feeling Drado, we the three musketeers. Skipper on the beat, bringing them fist cheers. Gaming till dawn, we on that grind. Random quirky fun, we never decline. In the world of pixels, we shine like stars. Hard mode savage, we raise the bars. Craziness in the gaming, we bring the heat, no defeat. We always bring the elite, dodging obstacles, we on that mission. Fuck with us, you'll face a militia. We don't back down, we keep it real. Blasting through levels with mad skill. Emotions run high, but we stay strong. In this game of life, we always belong. Game mode savage, we on that wave. Bringing in the energy, we never behave. So if you see us, better show respect. Cause in this gaming world, we're the directs. Game mode savage, we on that wave. Bringing the energy, we never behave. So if you see us, better show respect. Cause in this gaming world, we're the direct. I'm on that hard mode, ain't no joke. Hustling in the chaos, I ain't never broke. Feeling Drado, we the three musketeers. Skipper on the beat, bringing them fist cheers. Gaming till dawn, we on that grind. Random quirky fun, we never decline. In the world of pixels, we shine like stars. Hard mode savage, we raise the bars. Craziness in the gaming, we bring the heat, no defeat. We always bring the elite, dodging obstacles, we on that mission. Fuck with us, you'll face a militia. We don't back down, we keep it real. Blasting through levels with mad skill. Emotions run high, but we stay strong. In this game of life, we always belong. Game mode savage, we on that wave. Bringing in the energy, we never behave. So if you see us, better show respect. Cause in this gaming world, we're the directs.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. Oh, this is such a nice thing to be able to do. Welcome to season 2 of HRD Mode Selected. This is our first episode of season 2. We're doing a live pod. So welcome in to the Boyz of Summer block party. We are going to be having a great time, listening to some nice summer music, and just enjoying some summer memories and some summer vibes. We're really happy to have you here. Other than that, welcome in. If you're new here, what's up? Welcome into HRD Mode Selected, where we share experiences of life, gaming, and fandom on hard mode. And for all of you regulars here in HRD Mode Nation, thank you so much for holding this down. We've been off and on, and there have been gaps, but we've worked as hard as possible to give you a great season 1. And hopefully you enjoyed it for all that it was. I really enjoyed working with these two guys making it. I don't think there's nothing we posted that I collaborating on and getting your responses and reactions from. So for all of that, thank you for the support. Thank you for all the love, over the course of season 1. Welcome in.
Welcome in.
The Boyz of Summer block party. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna have a great time. So kick back, grab your snacks, grab your favorite cool beverages. They could be a little something extra in there. It can be completely non-alcoholic, but just make sure you're having a good time. It's probably a little early most places, anyways. But if you're day drinking, I'm not judging you. I got nothing for you. Per usual, I guess I should start this off proper. Per usual, HRD Mode Selected is. Okay, so HRD Mode Selected is myself, Phil Special Meter, that stubborn hard mode gamer that won't give up. We've got, per usual, the homie, never faint of heart, cool under pressure, always looking out, just _ Drado.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome in. It's good to see y'all. It's good to talk to y'all. It's been a minute. I know last stream y'all got was just Phil and Skip, so I know y'all. It's been a minute. But I'm here. I'm back. And I'm glad to be back. I'm glad.
Gotta give the people what they want.
Hey.
And also, HRD Mode Selected is, of course, our one and only, our very own cackles in the face of danger, adventuring hero streamer, Skipper Fenn, who's actually going to take us into the next segment.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to HRD Mode Selected. I am so excited to be starting our new season, brand new season, and we have a brand new look. And when we're talking about day drinking, we're talking about you, Samba. Looking at you. Wish I was day drinking. Wish I had a pull up myself. Wish I had some brunch with a little bit of mimosa. If I had it right here, I would. But we vibing today. We vibing here with a couple of bottles of water, a snack maybe. Yeah. And we're gonna move into our next segment, which is essentially we're just checking in with you guys, and happy to hear what's going on. It's been a while, and let's catch up. What's been going on with me? And I'll start with me. Just been trying to work on the stream lately, and have been just trying to incorporate that into brand new job and just really living day to day life be life. And lately, being an adult, a lot of life changes has been happening, but all for the better. So we're moving forward with our head held high into the second half of 2025, and I'm just elated to be doing that a completely different way with these two. We'll start with you, Drado. What's going on? What's new, buddy?
Man, what's new? You know,
by the way, Skip.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Round of applause for Skip, for sure. Absolutely. What has been going on with me? Man, I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff for this, making sure that this came to fruition.
Yeah.
We put a lot of work and effort into this, guys.
Yes.
So I know you guys are in the chatting. I want to say what's up to a lot of y'all.
And I'll keep an eye on that.
I ain't heard from you in years. What's up, goats? Samba, it's good to hear from you. Professor, it's been a while. Glad to hear from y'all. And anybody else that's viewing, welcome into the stream. I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff for this. Trying to do a lot of promos so that way we can get a lot of you guys, let you guys know that we're still doing this. Give you guys content. I don't know if y'all saw, we just recently posted something on the YouTube, a podcast we did earlier this week. Definitely check that out. But just working, being a father, being a husband, doing the whole adult thing in life,
right.
That's pretty much what I've been doing. Just trying to survive.
I feel like we're all
trying to survive.
In a completely different stage. Well, not in a completely different stage. We're on the same path. It's just our journeys are so different in terms of.
Hold up. Goat says the music can come down a little bit.
Come down again. Okay, for sure. Thank you, Goats.
Yeah,
Take it down just a tad. Thank you. Hopefully that's good. Let me know, Goats.
I feel like we're in such different lanes as different as our colors are to a certain degree. Just with all of the issues that we face as adults, right? We're all around the same age, but in the same respect, we have so many different avenues, like with Drado being a father, with Phil being in California, and then me just, stepping into a new era. What's going on with you, Phil? How's things over in California there? I almost said California. California, let's go.
Dream of Californication. We get DMCA strike. We are live on YouTube, by the way. I forgot to mention that at the top. We are simul streaming. We are dual streaming, whatever you want to call it, multi-streaming. So if you are more comfortable on YouTube, you can catch
the red app.
And if you're more comfortable, the red app. I'm gonna get us in trouble. After our very first.
They sitting at their computers right like this. They like, is he gonna say it? Is he gonna say it? Got him.
Yes, and then pretty soon, that just gave me an idea, and I need to grab a pen and paper just in case I have some of those ideas. But that would be great if we have like a little bot, and whenever we say those words, there's like a Family Feud X that pops up. Just
all right, that would be great. No, we gotta get on that.
Yes.
That's beautiful. We have it in the VOD, so we won't forget. Yes, we are on the purple app and the red app, whichever is your personal flavor. Just enjoy it. It's so natural. I've been all right. California has been. If y'all have been watching any type of news, which sometimes it's best not to, but it's been a little wild out here. Yeah, we still got a lot of just unrest and I know I get a little antsy. There's still a lot of military vehicles just flying around and making me uncomfortable. But other than that, I would say that the city's responded remarkably well to difficult circumstances all year long. Can't forget this year started with terrible fires, which obviously were very devastating to a lot of people who are living out here. So I just want to say that I didn't start off as an Angelino. I was from the Midwest like these boys over here, but I gotta say, I do feel like this is my city at this point, and I really do feel as though I'm really honored to be amongst so many courageous people who stand up for each other and show up when things get rough. And I wasn't expecting that because I just assumed Los Angeles would be very vapid and self-interested. Is kind of the vibe, and sometimes that is the vibe. But
that's how I remember
when the chips are down.
No, I'm just kidding.
when the chips are Skip used to be out here for a bit
Yeah.
as well. But when the chips are down, no, people regardless of class and status show up for each other, and I think that's pretty dope. I personally have been all right. I've been managing some new employment, which has made putting on this event. Sorry, little East Coast swing. I've been managing a new job. For those who don't know, we're all actors. So I've found a way to parlay myself into some casting direction as a casting director. So I can't say for what, and it's not like anything like crazy, but it helps me keep the lights on mostly.
Awesome.
And yeah, it's very time consuming. It's very, I'm watching thousands of auditions and, categorizing them and paring them down to smaller lists and creating presentations so that the client can see who they want to pick. I started at the beginning of the year, and then there was a long hiatus, and then they just recently threw me back in. So it's been a wild week of just I can barely get on with these guys, even though I'm like texting them a million ideas and being like, yeah, like this and that, but like we haven't been able to really talk. So I'm happy that we're here. Otherwise, all things are, manageable, chaotic but
That's
manageable.
good.
I guess.
Not chaotic. We don't want chaos, right? Unless we're playing with Scarlet Witch, but.
I was gonna say Chaos Reigns. Did you recently stream that?
Yeah. No, it's been.
Shout out to MK.
Yeah. Shout out to Havoc.
For sure.
But yeah,
before we keep going, hold on
Drado.
1 second. Somebody in the chat wanted to know how to get the YouTube link. Samba was asking. Samba, I put it in the chat. I'm sorry, the Red App link.
Red App link.
It's,
link.
I put the social.
We
You got it. Perfect.
We only get one more of those.
Perfect. We're trying our
It's
best to
my
keep
turn.
Twitch and the other
my
one.
turn. It's
the
my
other one.
ass.
All right, we're good to go.
Well,
Thank you,
good.
Simon.
wanna check in?
Just know on the Red App you will not hear all the fun funky tunes, unfortunately. So
Gaming Professor
music
said,
and stuff,
you can paint with all the colors of the wind, like Pocahontas said. Gaming Professor says, I've been watching more movies and TV shows and waiting on the new Resident Evil and GTA 6. We will be touching on that maybe a little bit later just as well. The news and I have a love-hate relationship. I mean, that's everyone. I feel like there are some people who enjoy the news, but every single time that it's nice to be aware, right? Knowing that things are going on. But sometimes the news can be so incredibly depressing. But now it's changed over to social media. Your timeline is...
That's literally where people find the news now.
Exactly. For the most part, it's like a newspaper.
A mess everywhere. It's a mess everywhere because on one hand, you want to stay informed, but at the same time, you want to get accurate information, which is rare. And then also you don't want to drown in knowing about all the things all the time. You gotta try to keep your health. So it's a balance between taking care of yourself, but also being a good neighbor. Don't be that asshole living in an ivory tower going everything's great for me, so I don't care. That sucks. I think. But also don't be so immersed in the goings on that you're just in a constant state of peril and panic.
Yes.
And not living your life either. So I know for myself, I try to find a balance between get a sense of what's going on and then figure out what things you can and will do something about. And you don't have to be Superman. You just have to even if you're 0.000 of the solution, then you're doing part, because there's 8 billion of us on this planet. So if everybody did their little chunk, we can move mountains, we can change history. So I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely a struggle. And with social media, I'll just say that the tricky thing is on one hand, it could show you the clear as day truth in real time because you can't hide it. People just have their phones out and you can just see what's actually happening. But at the same time, there's still like news outlets, like Western news outlets. There's so much spin, you know, and it's just like they're not just showing you. They're showing you. You have to be careful because they're showing you for clout. So like, you know, if a content creator is covering the news, it's hard to find a really earnest one because a lot of times it's like, well, this is how I make content. I need conflict, and I need buzz, and I need. So they may not be telling you what's up just to tell you what's up. They're telling you what's up to get their clicks and views, and sometimes that means spicing it up or leaving stuff out. Nuance disappears, is all I'll say, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. It's just, I don't know. Every single time you turn on your timeline, it's just, I don't know. It's always something, right? And I try to post it on our IG. I try to post it on the story a lot of the time, so people can get an idea of what's going on out there. Just recently I posted something where Ice was and Frank had made this really, really poignant quote, and it made it more apparent that the same things that they were doing then is currently happening right now. And us not having like that wherewithal or not realizing how similar it is to all of the things that we have been told about in our history classes or have seen all of these various different biopics and things of that nature of people who have lived through prejudices and being outcasted and all those things. It's just crazy that we feel as though because we have technology and because we have television and phones and all those things, because technology is moving us forward, that the people have changed. But lately we are realizing that, everything is just the same. And so we want to make sure that our viewers out there and everyone around us are taking good care of their mental health and making sure that everyone is, focusing on you. Samba says, if you don't know your history, it will repeat itself, but you have to make sure you know the accurate history to make sure that doesn't happen. I agree 100%.
Context is
Just
key.
because
Context is key, and we're sold a lot of propaganda and lies all across the world. Because countries are like that. So if you live in a country, you're sold a version of what's gone down that complements that particular government and structure. So you really have to. It really is upon us to do a lot of work outside of what we're taught in schools, even colleges, to find out like, well, what's going on? Like, I don't get American news from America. I just don't.
That makes sense.
Hell no.
To figure out what the hell is going on for real. And I try to get different sources because different people have different biases and whatever. It's a lot of extra work and it's exhausting. But if it's something you come across you care about, like definitely do that work to go back and figure out where it comes from. I did want to also point out. Professor, I believe, was up in here. Oh, Samba also, talked about like the horrible things you hear about, but then they all just talk about who won the lottery. Like, news is so weird.
Yes.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
That part, crazy.
We may, and it's nothing against you, Samba, we may want to flag the R word in the future just because of the sensitivity of it. And the triggering nature of it. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. And that's not on you, Samba. That's something we got to do on our end.
Yeah.
So
we're
no worries.
Yeah. We're not all set up here.
Gaming Professor said the audio and lip movement wasn't synced up for Skip. I refreshed it. Can you let me know, Professor, if it's still doing that for you? Because it looks fine on my end. But if you can let me know.
Same.
And thanks for letting us know. If there's anything that you see, please keep us aware.
Yes, please.
Just so we can be able to. We got a 3-man team, so when one of us is talking, okay, cool. Yeah, when one of us is talking, we try to make sure that we're getting things done for the other, which is great. Pretty soon we'll have a whole team and a whole production set and all that good stuff, and they'll be able to take care of all these things, and we can just sit here and talk with you, and they shoot us everything. But until then, it's the three of us, and I feel like we're doing a great job already. If I don't say so myself.
Sure.
Really quickly, we're gonna check in with the chat.
Yes, sir.
Game Professor says, also, I do have to ask if you guys have seen Ironheart yet. We will talk about that.
Oh, we're going to
just
talk
a
about
moment.
that for sure.
Yes,
We have a
will.
whole itinerary plan for y'all.
Yes. And then, then we have, to add to that, you have people who know history, but also distort it so they can only give half the info or the only info that will help their cause.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Huge.
That's pretty much what I agree, Professor.
For
That's what I
years.
was trying to communicate as well. It's just like, same thing with like statistics. I was talking about this with my apheresis nurse on Thursday. And like, you know, we were in agreement. It's just like, people love to use statistics as if like that's supposed to completely sway you. But it's like, what if you're not in the majority of that? Like, you know what if you're the outlier, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, that part.
my favorite one, and I'm wearing the fit for today is Justice League. Shout out to the Justice
Yes, come on, Flash.
And you know, this guy at the bottom, Superman, love Superman, love all these cats, love
Yes.
Superman, and famously Superman in the Chris Reeve movies, and reiterated in Brandon Routh's film because it's a continuation. Like, you know, I hope this doesn't put you off flying because statistically speaking, it's safer than, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, my thing is, I have a lot of friends I talk to, I argue with about this, where like, they're like, it's actually safer to fly. Like, you're more likely to get into a car accident, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, guys, in my car, I'm not 40,000 feet up. I'm not, you know, like if something goes wrong with my car, I have options to skid, steer, stop, brake, you know, like get out, whatever. If something goes wrong with a plane 40,000 feet up, what then? They're like, yeah, but it doesn't happen that often. I'm like, yeah, but if you're in the small percentage, do you really give a fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, the statistic that it's safer doesn't matter a lot to the people who have been harmed in those situations. You know what I'm saying? So like, I just that's one of those things that irks me personally.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like, well, statistically, it's more likely that you're not thinking of the people. Like, if you're one of the outliers, that statistic is less comforting.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Everybody tries to go all Spock. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the like. But if you're the few, that kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. It really
the
does.
numbers and the stories and the statistics can say whatever you want, right? Like the difference between the facts and the truth is the narrative, right? The story.
Yep.
So.
Samba says, going to an HBCU, shout out to A&T State
Hey.
University. You learn a lot in the history classes. That's what's up.
Shout out to the
That's what's
HBCUs.
That's what's up. Yes.
Yeah,
my
making sure
parents
that our
went
history
there.
is intact. You know, that's what Indiana Jones fought for. Tell that to half that got erased when Thanos snapped his finger. Exactly.
Man.
And we have
Exactly.
and it seems crazy because Thanos is purple skin and all that good stuff, but we have Thanoses here. Like, they may not necessarily look like a super villain in terms, but yes, in many ways they do. You know,
I mean, yeah.
So it's like, just beware and
Yes.
make sure, you know, check in with your strong friends.
Yep.
Check in with, you know, just the people who inhabit your world from day to day. A lot of people don't necessarily check in and say, how are you? How are you doing today? And actually answer, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are, because I deal with people on the regular, they are so focused on the task that they've forgotten how to be human or just social, you know? They look at you, especially if you work in service, and they're more so, some people, right? Not talking about all people, but there are a lot of people who forget to check in and say, you know what? I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. or I'm not doing so great, and then you can check in and say, how can I make that better? Or how can I, how can I assist? What can I do for you? I think a lot of the time we don't check in, and we want to be able to check in with you. We check in with each other like all the time. I feel like
That's
ever so often.
Yeah, for sure.
From time to time, I'm not the greatest because I don't put my schedule in when I'm supposed to put my.
Oh
schedule.
no, that's me too. I'm terrible at that. I'm
And
terrible.
they'd be like,
at
"What is? I don't know what's going on." Sometimes I check back into the chat and it goes, "I don't know what's going on with Skip." But
to give y'all some background. We got a Google calendar that we all use, and I'm notorious for
so
not
bad.
ever updating that calendar. Not on purpose.
Because for me,
it's not on purpose. It's just a lot.
I wish I had. It just makes you want to have a 9 to 5.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like my weekends are off. But some days I go into work at 4:30, and some days I go into work at 8:30, and be like updating that like Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. So the other day I just screenshot it. It was like, here you go.
literally. And you know what? This is my time to shine for once. I'm the big
And
like
he's so
keeper of
good
the
at it.
schedules.
So good,
And
bro.
this is getting
So good.
on.
I know all his
getting
doctor's
onto
appointments.
something-
Truly.
Cause, like,
For real, though.
legitimately, I put that shit in there so they know, like, okay, well, he's not available. Like, they know when I have apheresis. They know that, like, that day is gonna be pretty much 7 a.m. to whatever 5. Like, I'm gonna be outie.
Yeah.
But you know what? Speaking of that, I mean, like, we have some topics coming up that'll touch on this, but I'll just drop here that when you live with chronic illness and you want to have a life, you learn to keep a schedule, or at least you learn to adapt and keep up with stuff because it's always shifting. The landscape is always changing.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. See, that's what's so awesome about the three of us is the lives that we lead are so incredibly different, and the things that we value are also different, but we still abide by the same morals and making sure that we're moving forward in the right way. Samba co-signing with Skip. That's why surveys are so important with open-ended questions, because you can't fix things for people if you don't ask them what the problem is genuinely. You can't solve a math problem by starting in the middle of the equation. Toni Morrison.
Really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
That's dope.
Drop a Toni
Round of applause for
Morrison
that.
quote anytime. Just authors and things of that nature, please.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And that's the impetus behind what you're doing. Something that I think I cooked up like at the very beginning, like even when Drado and I were just like messing around
Before HMS,
for,
yeah.
like, the format. Yeah, and Drado really is the one that like latched onto it. Was like, no, we gotta keep that.
Yeah.
And make sure Drado's really good about making sure that ends up in just about every episode or broadcast we do, just to make sure that, like, because it is important. Like, so much, even when we have meetings, even when we're supposed to be working on HMS stuff, it's just like, Dre will be great about, like, but, like, how y'all doing for real, though? And it ends up being good for all of us. It ends up being really cathartic and just, like, nice to have a real moment, because, to Skip's point, often in life, people ain't trying to find out. People ain't trying to hear it. People want to keep it surfaced. If they ask you how they're doing, they're just being polite, and there's a social contract that you're not supposed to reveal too much of the heavy stuff.
Yeah,
agreed.
And you're supposed to keep it pushing, right? And I really do value a real. I'm a little bit more on the introverted side of the introvert-extrovert spectrum, so I really do value a lot more. I don't like small talk. I don't do well with small talk. I do value like genuine interactions, and you don't have to say a lot, but just like just be real,
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, sometimes you could start a conversation, and this again is coming from experience with talking with people and dealing with people from day to day. There are some people who will suck you into a conversation of small talk and make you feel as though you can't really leave. Then you're like, I I gotta go. But then there's some people who well, Kiki Palmer just made a post about it recently and was like, just because I'm smiling doesn't mean I want to continue. I'm just being nice. You know what I mean? But then there are some people who, you have that automatic sense of rapport. You know what I mean? And I feel like we definitely gravitated to each other in that same respect. I feel like we talk 100%. Endlessly about things, and then we realize it is now 5:00.
Yeah, in the morning. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. in the morning.
Right.
Goody with Goats says, the amount of times I've had someone ask, "How are you doing?" They either don't care or just want that small talk.
Yeah,
exactly.
And to be fair, people like you mentioned, Skip, before, they got tunnel vision. They're focused on one thing, and they're not even thinking about like having long conversations with people, and small talk is all they got time for, or they're dealing with something and they, I've been through that.
I
do
think
that
it's
often,
something that's imprinted. If there's anything that resembles robot nature, it's the pleasantries, right? Yeah. The how do you do's, right? We forget that is a question that is meant to be answered. Right. We automatically just feels, hey, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, and as you're passing, right? It's more so just supposed to be the hey. If you don't really want to know what I have to say, you know what I mean? I feel like we forget that is a question that is meant to be asked, and we have lost the severity of asking questions to our fellow neighbors.
I'm definitely the type of person that, like, if a question is bestowed upon me and it's about my personal life, I'm going to give you the story. So sit back, it may take a minute, but you asked, so clearly you want to know.
Right.
Don't ask me. I don't know how many times on my channel I've said, like, don't ask me if you don't really want to know.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I don't really want to know, right? And there are times
I'm going through
where because I have some sense of what the other person is like, I don't ask because I really don't want to know at that particular time, because there's some people who will take advantage of that opportunity. I don't want to say necessarily trauma dump, but you've given them 5. Oh, that's crazy, and wow.
And sometimes,
I pay attention to social cues when I get those, because I do get those
exactly.
a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's paying attention. Like, does this person really care?
Yep.
Other times I also want to say, oh, we're good. Wait.
I think Phil could.
I sound louder.
Yeah.
Wait, do I sound louder or do I sound softer?
I think that's what it is.
What do you say?
Just the positioning of the mic, because you came through real clear.
Okay, and I'll turn them down just in case, just a tad bit. I got you.
All right.
I got you. Thank you, Goats. Appreciate you.
Phil could got up, scooch closer, or the mic to the mic or something. So you're saying I sound soft? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you're saying closer. Okay.
I want to be clear, Goats. We're counting on you. No pressure.
We're counting on you. You're our last hope.
The fate of the stream. The fate of the round lies with you.
Sama said that's a Southern thing, though. We say, hey, how are you? But it's just a greeting. Ain't nothing we could do about it if you mad and we don't know you.
Okay. Yeah.
But so it's
quieter. Okay, I got you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
I sound quieter than Drado. Just get work.
Okay.
Yeah, because we all up on the mic. No, I'm just kidding.
Also, Game Professor, well, how do you tell the ones who are just asking to be nice to the ones
That's a good question.
Who are genuine? I think, again, sometimes it's social cues. Sometimes it's a little bit of you roll the dice and you just respond honestly, and then you can read how they move after that point, right? Like, if you give them something real and they kind of like back off a bit.
Facial expressions,
like,
gestures,
all right,
movements.
They weren't
Yeah.
really trying to. They weren't
If they're
really
looking
trying
at
to
their
find
watch
out.
too much, or
And-
looking at their
and
phone too
there's-
much, or
Yeah.
Or if they want to know just to have the tea, or if they just want to know to manipulate, right? Like
Yeah.
those are also things. Sometimes people
Yeah.
want to be up in your shit.
true.
And
Nosy
there are
ass.
some people out there who don't recognize them. You know what I mean? Who have not been
For lots of reasons. For lots of
for
reasons.
lots of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Just they haven't had enough time with people.
Or they may be on the spectrum.
Or they may be on the
That's who.
spectrum.
That's who.
Yes.
who will never pick up on those types of like little cues,
Exactly.
no matter what they do, and that's not
Yes.
their fault.
Yeah.
I am neurodivergent. I have ADHD, so like I don't know. Sometimes there are things I feel like I mostly like. I don't know. Mostly some like people's interest in me sometimes romantically. I'm like, well.
Yeah, trying to.
But nonetheless, what I wanted to say is that with all this, it's just I think you find your people, because when people when people aren't supportive of you being you, like
Yeah.
you figure it out and you keep it pushing, and then you find the occasional person that's like they leaned in where the other person leaned away, right? And like you kind of figure out who you can talk to, and you can figure out who you can talk to about what, because different people have different lanes of like familiarity and expertise and things like that.
True.
But what matters is that people, the real ones, are honest with you throughout. Like I remember I had a friend, good friend. I still have this friend. I don't want to say I had, but shout out to the homie Hilda. But like I remember we had a conversation years and years ago where I was describing some of my chronic illness, and she just said point blank, like, if I get quiet when you talk about those things, it's because I don't know what to say. It does make me a little sad to think
That's
about
real.
what might happen to you, but I'm still listening.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like to have somebody just say it, not have it be this elephant that's just in the room and leaving me to wonder why I feel like unsupported or something. It's just sort of like, okay, I understand this is difficult. She's close to me. She doesn't like to think bad things will happen to me.
Yes.
So, but she's not like telling me to stop sharing either. She's
Yeah.
kind enough to be like, this is your life and you can talk
Give
about
you
it.
that
if you want.
space. Yeah.
And that was just great information, And I try to
dope.
do that for people. And I just wanted to get this in, this thing about like not being as available and like, whatever. I'm the type of person that if I don't have the bandwidth or the schedule that will allow me to really get the download from you, I'm probably just going to either say that or hold off on linking up with you until I can give you my attention. Because I don't like to do the thing where like, yeah, I'm listening. Hold on. No, I swear I'm listening. Like, I don't like to do that. If I know I'm going to be preoccupied by work and the rat race and the things, the fires I need to put out in my own life, I literally have texts and conversations with people where like, they're like, hey, can you talk? And I'm like, look, I can't tonight, but let's put something in the calendar. Again, that calendar. Let's put something in the calendar so I can. But I'll also throw the caveat. If it is urgent, if you're going through something really, and you need to talk to somebody right now, please tell me, because I'll just drop what I'm doing. So I try to have those types of open conversations so that if it's like a serious thing that like they're alone, they don't have anyone else to talk to, I'll stop. Like work can wait and other things can wait. But if it's something where like they want to talk but it can wait a couple days or a couple hours, then let me know so then I can prioritize accordingly. But I just don't like to engage in conversations where I know like I want to be here fully and I'm not going to be here fully. So it's better to just talk that stuff out. And I think you can, I can at least,
Yeah.
I
facts,
have
facts.
to, because I feel like I haven't been diagnosed by any means, but I feel like I'm neurodivergent and ADD as well. I have to, in order for me to find ways to stay engaged, is finding pieces that you can relate to, right? So like being able to latch on to something of what the person is telling you and absorbing it, you know what I mean? It helps me keep focused, because I feel like again, so what I do is I work in guest services at a museum, which means that I talk to people daily, and a lot of that is small talk. Just because you're meeting everyone almost for the very first time. And so, and the people that you're developing relationships with are just, recurring visitors and the people that you work with. So trying to find ways that you can relate and connect with certain people tends to go a long way. Samba said, if a Southerner says, "Ain't that something?" that's the equivalent of saying,
That's hilarious.
Wow. We are
wow,
done
that's
with
crazy.
the combo now. And that
Wow, that's
Southerners
crazy.
have a lot of that, like, nice, mean. You know what I mean? Like, someone the other day said to someone in front of me, "Oh, bless your heart."
Bless your heart.
So, and that bless your heart is so twisted because.
Oh yeah, we know what that really means.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Just look them in the eyes, tilt your head, and shake your head slowly, and look. Sorry, don't follow
for sure.
any of these Samba.
Samba-isms.
No, but that eye contact is very important, though, regardless of the situation. Even if you don't want to be there, that eye contact says a lot.
Oh, man. The worst is when you're like when you told them ahead of time, like, I have to go, I'm getting ready for work, or like I only have like this window of time, and then they just keep going and going, and like, oh, I'm the asshole now because I have to like then abruptly cut you off so I can get out the fucking door,
Yeah.
There are lots of things, but I do think small talk has its place, like you said, Skip, at work.
Yeah.
And just because
work.
I don't like small talk doesn't mean I'm not good at it. I just don't enjoy it. But there can be practical applications for it.
For sure.
And sometimes those little things can bring people together. Especially, you gotta remember, sometimes people are very intimidated. Some people are nervous. You might be dealing with somebody who's English second language, and just being able to ask you about the local sports team gives them something to work with, just because their vocabulary isn't as broad, or maybe they're concerned that their English isn't good enough. And there's lots of reasons people engage in small talk. So I don't want to blanket it. There's nuance, but if I can have a real conversation, I will. But sometimes people need a warm up, and I get that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I think it's just based and rooted and I want to preface this by saying we will in the future have a mental health stream where we'll touch on those things, because we believe in that very so much over here at HRD Mode Selected. But
agreed.
Yeah, I feel like we deal with those things. Okay, well, see, now I segued and done lost my point. But go ahead. What were you gonna say, Phil? Because I'm lost now.
No, you're good. All I was going to say is that as we're wrapping up the "What You're Doing" section here, this is our first, live pod. So
yes,
having an
I'm
audience,
to that.
It changes things around. So I was gonna say most likely what's gonna happen next. Because Drado has a heart out. He has to leave. He's got plans.
Oh yes. Yes.
But and we'll get into what those are, why those are in a little bit. But what I want to say is
I'd be busy.
Know that we're not ignoring you in the comment section, but we will probably handle subjects. We'll probably talk about something and have a conversation, and then check back in with you guys to see what you were saying, as opposed to stopping for every individual comment, because otherwise we'll never get out of here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thank you for chatting with us through what you're doing, and
for sure,
how you're feeling and what's going on out there.
But I do want to add, and I'm gonna put in the chat again, the socials, guys. We do have a Discord where if you guys want to just kick it with us and talk and just chat and whatever, definitely check us out via Discord. It's a lot of fun in there. We're just, it's a lot of different rooms you can go in and talk about different, content and post pictures and share video. Like it's so much you can, do in there. So definitely take advantage of that.
Please visit
Instagram,
the Pets page.
Discord, all that jazz.
No, good point. Good point. So yeah, if we run out of time with you today, like if you were like, I had so much more to say, don't worry.
Yes.
You can hit us up in the Discord for sure, or our socials, anywhere you can find us through text chat. You know, you can hit us up there. And don't forget, we also do live streams. We'll have a schedule for you soon for more like gaming streams and other types of streams that we do on this channel. So keep an eye out.
I'm gonna ignore Phil's statement just for a second to read this comment in the chat. But Professor said, "Make sure you say the right name because Drado is not Draco." That's facts. That's facts.
Yeah, join the Discord to find out what that is.
But no, I appreciate the love, Professor.
No, we're not targeting you.
I appreciate it.
Someone said I feel targeted because I was the only one going hard in the comment section.
Oh no.
No,
You
not
haven't.
at
I
all.
mean, I don't know if you've been here when Uzi is here, so you ain't got nothing.
Oh, not at
you ain't got
all.
nothing to Uzi. Shout out to Uzi.
I was gonna say, Samba, you ain't chatting enough. I was just playing.
Also, I am one who does text in paragraphs on Twitch as well. Like if I'm engaging with a streamer I like and they bring up an interesting topic, I'm gonna go all in and like they.
Oh yeah, me
sometimes
too.
they read it and sometimes they can't. So.
Y'all should have just said my name. Y'all didn't have to.
With that, Skip. What's
Yes. No, I'm sorry. That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
So, I believe we had a couple of birthdays that just happened recently.
Oh, that's a
We're
perfect
gonna-
segue to what Professor was talking about. Go ahead, Skip. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, no. So recently we had my boy Drado and my boy Phil just recently stepped into the next year of this journey that we call life. And how was your birthdays, guys? Happy birthday to the both of you. I'm sitting back here. 'Cause I gotta wait till snow is down before.
So much shit about it.
But yeah, how was your birthdays, guys? Happy birthday to the both of you. It is just
Thank you
elated
kindly. Appreciate
that
you.
you guys are on this earth because we get to do things like this and to be able to relate to. I feel like I've always wanted brothers. I only have a sister, and I feel like you guys are my brothers. I feel like we chat in, we touch in ever so often, and this has just been such an awesome ride. And now we're starting season 2, but we get to start it in the next years of the both of your lives. How was your birthday?
Hey, thank you so much. That's so touching. It's so
So
funny
nice.
the way you said that. Like I just thought of like I often think of us as like the 3 Spider-Men from like No Way Home. Like I do this with my brothers as well. Shout out to Star Cardinal and Sponsolin Connor. But like I feel like there's that parallel with us at HMS because like we all have so much overlap and similarity, and we all essentially do the same gigs. Like we're actors. We have musical ability. We stream. We podcast, and we're each used to kind of one-man banding a lot of that stuff, and then forming HMS has been very much like that bit in No Way Home of just like figuring out like, oh, we're all used to leading and we're all used to just kind of doing things our way and like figuring out where we can use the little twists in us that make us unique. And maximize that, right? And Skip, it's just you saying that remind me of like Andrew's Spider-Man being very much like, oh, it's one of the brothers.
Yeah, truly. I mean, it feels that way. I mean, y'all might, I don't know, Drado, if you have a brother?
Man, I do. Yeah, I got two brothers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But like, you guys
2
actually
brothers.
have brothers. I don't have brothers. And so I just have a sister, and my sister was mean. You know what I mean? But it's like one of those things where you sit into a corner and man, I wish I had a brother. And that was one of those things that I always had. I wish we adopted anything, but I feel like I get that same rapport with you guys, and being able to like sit and play games and, you know, talk about life and give each other advice and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a therapist, as you could tell, but I feel like we bounce things off, and I don't have too many people to talk to. I feel like my mother is my therapist a lot of the time, but we all, you know, exchange those ideas, and I feel like I grow as a better person when we come together. And I feel like you guys have completely different perspectives on how we move through this life, and to be able to exchange those ideas and be able to take on what you guys have has been just a pleasure for me.
Hey, it's likewise. You know, it's really been a beautiful thing to even prior to this collaboration of HRD Mode Selected. It's been really a great thing to you know, look into both of you, to know that I can make again some more genuine contacts in my life that are, you know, just delightful to be around and like fun, and yet like able to handle the serious stuff, and you know, you're able to just be real with, and also kick it with and laugh with into the night, into the sunset. So no, I learn a lot from you guys all the time. And yeah, I still think the Spider-Man analogy works, because it's just like, yeah, we all have these similar lanes, but like we have enough differences that there's something to like pick up from one another, to rub off on one another. So thank you, Skip. I just thought that was really sweet of you to say. Should we go in order of birthday?
Sure.
Yeah.
Elders first.
I was first. I was up first of the two of us, and we also want to celebrate some June birthdays in general in our community. So
Hey, shout out to June birthdays.
But yes, shout out to the June birthdays.
Gemini.
The fellow Gemini out there. Yes. We didn't get to do this when we wanted to.
You made it sound so like you were taking the trophy of the Mario Kart. I'm first, so let's like start with, you know what I mean? Like, and I always say that recently. Just because
we go get to my turn. Don't worry. We go get to my turn. Don't worry.
Yeah. And we're not gonna talk about my 9th place win, which is kind of accurate considering you know my birthday ain't until November. So
you know what? Jumping in the comments real quick though, Professor, we did celebrate you in the Discord, and that's the thing we do. Let us know your birthdays in the Discord so we can celebrate you. We ask everyone to tap in every month. We gotta do for July, but I will say this on stream. You know, you had a birthday in April, Professor, and we are so thankful that you are here with us and celebrating more years. And I really am excited to see you continue your journey and share your kindness. You're always thoughtful and always looking out for people. Yeah. Always asking about everyone else before you talk about yourself. Like, it's just truly, you're a dope dude. So congratulations on
being there. I feel like the Professor, you are always there,
showing up, out.
If you need this, and it's something about support and feeling supported, and I think sometimes because you are so prevalent, we don't give you enough recognition. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like because you're around so much, we've gotten comfortable with you, and we appreciate, well, I've gotten comfortable with you. So I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you, you know, popping in there, saying, hey, even if it's just for a second. And, you know, sometimes the chat gets quiet and then something happens on stream and you pop in and say something, and I'm like, wow, he's still here. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes me feel great. It just makes me feel great knowing that you're there. And so I appreciate you with the, you know, with the trivia that you come with the support and the advice that you put in chat. You know, we appreciate you.
That being said, I'm gonna keep saying, guys, join the Discord, because if y'all see us in Discord and y'all see us just in chat game chat, I mean, just talking or playing Marvel Rivals, definitely come in and say hi, join us, most of the channels that we have are open for you guys to join us. So if you see us all in there, don't be afraid to just come in and be like, hey, what's up, y'all? What y'all doing? Come have fun with us.
Yeah, any channel that you have access to within the Discord is your channel. So don't feel like you gotta wait for somebody to like give you the go ahead to go in. Just like hop in. We appreciate having you. It's a community for a reason. I see Samba. I appreciate
Samba.
that.
Birthday, right. Birthday love is always going to be heartfelt. That's because we have hearts.
I need to see you.
Ooh, I felt like that was a little pointed. But Samba did say shout out to y'all for playing World War Z too.
Yeah.
Hey,
shout out to World War Z.
It's a beauty of streaming. I will say this real quick. I didn't do anything in particular for my birthday this year. Oh, is stream okay? Oh, it was buffering on my end. Okay, maybe that's just my whack ass computer. No, I'm kidding. I love you, computer. Don't give up on me.
It looked good.
But yeah, no. My birthday is June 14th, which is Flag Day, which is ironic considering I care less about countries. But love cultures, not so much countries. But yeah, I feel very honored to still, get to be here. Being a sickle cell anemia patient, not everyone makes it this far. So, even not being a sickle cell patient or chronically ill person, not everyone makes it this far. So, I just want to say I feel very, very blessed and like good about that. I look a bit younger than I actually am, so that's kind of cool and fun. And
right.
I really did having a summer birthday, Back in the day, it was like, all the good movies and shit were coming out like in the summer growing up, like it was just like such a nice little. Yeah. It was like it's like this is my season, absolutely, yes. Come on. We're gonna get to a little. I actually have a picture to send Drado that hopefully we can share on the stream because I do have a birthday picture from yesteryear that highlights that very thing. But it was it's just nice to have a summer birthday. I like June 14th. I'm an even number fan. It's just strange how much duality runs through my life because like being born when I'm born makes me a Gemini. I'm born on an even number day. About halfway through the month, and I'm a bisexual orientation. One of my mental health challenges is bipolar disorder type 2, no less. My favorite superhero or fictional character is famous for being one half of a dynamic duo. My favorite supervillain is Two-Face. So like it just kind of keeps going and going. Like this theme of duality throughout my life just kind of keeps happening to come together. And I didn't choose most of it. A lot of it just I was born ambidextrous as well. So it was just like one of those weird things where I'm like, I don't know if there's a real correlation between star sign and how we come out. It's one of those things where like ghosts, where like there's not enough information for me to say, yeah, that's a thing, or no, that's not a thing. It's just one of those interesting like mysteries that I kind of enjoy. Like it's eerie how accurate like sometimes the Gemini stamp is, even though I don't necessarily put a lot of stock in it,
I like finding ways to relate. I think it helps you do that in certain moments. Like I feel like someone may not be textbook Gemini, right? But
what you mean by that?
Something. Well, nothing. Because I don't know what that is, really. I really don't.
That's actually something we're about to get into as well. But yeah.
But I think when you sometimes you meet someone and there's a thing, right? That it's like a rapport or something like that, or something about them that is prominent, right? And then you find out their horoscope and that somehow either links you, that thing, because then you find a piece of yourself in that person, right? So it's like, if I met another Scorpio, or sometimes when you have talked with someone and find out they're a Scorpio, then things click, right? There's a situation that, like, you go, oh, you know, and I feel like that's such a cool thing to have. So part of me kind of believes in it, not fully, because we're not all one thing, right?
Right.
But I think there are those traits that you go, I know how to rock with you. You may be quick to anger, or like, you know, like, or I know what button to press and what to leave alone. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it gives you, I feel like generalization is like the worst word to use when it comes
like
to horoscoping,
right? Like,
but it's the commonality. It's just that sense of being able to reach the person who is across from you in some ways. Not always. Don't repel someone because of a horoscope, because I feel like there are times when people go, exactly. But Drado, over to you. If you were done, Phil, I didn't mean to.
Oh yeah, the last thing I can say is that my favorite. It's weird to have a favorite number. My favorite number is 6, which is, you know, the month of June is the 6th month of the year. So weird. Yeah, I'm happy these things kind of came together to help me be me. But yes, let's talk to the birthday twin, Drado.
Well, since we're talking about me, let me say, first and foremost, shout out again to all the Geminis out there. I have a family full of Geminis. My sister is a Gemini. My mother is a Gemini. I am a Gemini. So yeah, shout out to the Geminis. I got a lot of friends that are Geminis. I dated somebody that was a Gemini back in the past. So yeah, it's crazy. It's something about Geminis that I don't know. I get along well with them. It's just what it is. To an extent. I will say June Geminis, I get along better than May Geminis, but that's a whole another conversation for another day. But just like Skip, I don't follow horoscopes, zodiac signs like that for real. But I will admit there are some similarities amongst, you know, other zodiac signs that I'm like, oh, that makes sense because I do the same thing, or I'm like that too. So yeah, I get it. But no, my birthday is June 16th. For those that do not know, same day as Tupac. We share the same birthday. So shout out to any June 16th birthdays out there. Yes, 2 days apart from Phil here. Thankfully, it's not on Flag Day. Yes. So I did not.
Yeah, y'all want
what a flex.
I have to bring it up later, but y'all don't really want to know who I share a birthday with.
I was gonna say it, but I'm gonna let Phil tell y'all.
Walking through life with your head down.
I was gonna say it, but I'm gonna let Phil tell y'all who he shared his birthday with. I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna let Phil say it. But no, what I did for my birthday this year.
Who are you like?
Hey, twin.
What are your similarities?
Twin, where have you been?
I'm just messing with you. Not to harass you.
For my birthday this year, I kept it low key. I didn't want to do anything crazy because the past year or two I've been like out and about, but this year I kind of wanted to just keep it chill. So I did the usual dinner, you know, went out to dinner with family. And then I did something. Well, somebody did this for me. I didn't even plan it. Somebody else wanted to celebrate me essentially. So they had like a little get together at my place and we did like a gaming thing. I didn't plan it. Somebody else planned it. I just invited people and that was it. No, it was a dope turnout. We played some fun games. Skip was there. We had a good Mario Kart.
Leave early.
We had a good Mario Kart session where I smoked everyone in the first 2 rounds, so that was fun.
Drado likes to do this.
That That was not fun.
Mario
Just
Kart.
invite
Not
people
fun
to his
whatsoever.
home
Mario
for a friendly
Kart
game of Mario Kart.
is
that
my
he-
game. It's my game, y'all.
And Drado Kid came in with a sabotage. We must have Drado Kid at all Mario Kart.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to sabotage me for sure.
He was sabotaging.
Violent.
It was great.
He
It
definitely was
great.
trying
No,
to
it
trying
was-
to get me
It was
killed.
pretty awesome.
But I still
Yeah,
came out
no,
on top.
we-
Bang, bang, bang. But no, it was a good time. It was a good turnout. Shout out to the people that planned that for me. Shout out to the homies Nagatha, Christie. Shout out to the homie Nico. You know, they planned that for me.
That's cool. That's dope.
I invited people, and it was fun time. Fun time. I tried to do more inviting
Dope
people
people.
to my home because, you know, me and my wife. Shout out to the wife. We were just talking about this the other day. We don't really have many like people come over, so we like to have people come over and hang out with us. So you know, it sucks that a lot of our friends are out of state, Phil, and my wife. You know, her friends are out of state as well. So it's like we don't get a lot of people coming over. So you know, we try to
more.
yeah, we try to we're trying to do our best this year, especially to do that more often going forward as well. But it was a good turnout. Yeah, good turnout. And then also, you had mentioned, Phil, that you're ambidextrous. So was my son, Drado Kid. He's also.
Oh, really?
So y'all got that in common. That just dawned on me. I was like, so was he.
Shout out to Drado.
Brandy
Shout out to Drado Kid. Yeah. He be
Yeah, that's
back and forth all the time. Left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. So yeah, shout out to him.
Hey, my heart is with him because I gotta tell y'all when I tell you how he might be doing better, but when I tell you how difficult it was for me to figure out what the difference between left and right was, I couldn't tell, like we would have PE day, not to hijack Drado's segment, we would have PE day. PE days where we playing like baseball or something, or we playing like some game, and they're like, "Are you lefty or a righty?" And I'm like, "What now?" Like I'm just like, I got confused all the time, and I actually, this particular PE teacher had like some anger management issues. I got yelled at a little bit. I think he was known for just like having a little bit of a gasket that he blew. Yeah, it was just like one of those like, how can you not know? And like you're holding everything up because everybody's trying to like. I'm like, hey, what? It's all the same to me.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
And the way my
What
mind
makes you
works-
strange makes you stronger.
Facts.
Well, the way my mind works, and I want to go back to the inception of us, because we all got together and we were gaming, doing Marvel's Avengers, and really, really gained like a great rapport. But what's great with that is Phil, in some ways, you're the link to us because you, first of all, brought this all together and us being able to hone in HRD Mode Selected and become Avengers ourselves. But the fact that so Drado, are you right-handed?
Yep, I am.
See, I'm left-handed. And so the fact that
Wow.
so it's like left hands, and then you like linking us together with right. It's such a weird thing, and
That's crazy you say
I
that,
think
Skip,
about those
because my wife is left-handed and I'm right-handed, and our son is
see,
both. So
There's something about that union.
and that
feel
link.
like-
So, and I adore her all the more.
Can't say enough dope things about Drado Queen, aka Brandy.
hey,
I still have good memories of, speaking of going over to Drado's, I still have good memories of, I would go over every time I could visit, like every time I was in
yeah, for
town.
sure.
And even before I moved away, and like I remember vividly, they hosted a movie night. We watched The Suicide Squad. That was my
Suicide
first time
Squad,
seeing that
yep.
film. And it was a good ass time.
Yeah.
I'm so glad y'all hosted
Yeah, I always have a blast. I hate that we got a little tired and tuckered out, but we had a great time. It was
fun.
It's always because the first time around I came over, and that was really, really cool to actually meet Drado. And then I didn't realize and I didn't notice that we were over there specifically for your birthday. I would have had things. I thought you were just inviting folks over, and
I
then
was
realizing it's in the same week.
because I didn't plan it. I was just inviting people over.
But you got me, you know, like I didn't know. Like
Context.
you said, like
Context.
Brandy and so it was, and then I showed up, and then
Peace out, Samba.
yeah, it was just
Bye, Samba.
the both of us showed up. It was a great time. We had a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. We played a lot of games. Mario Kart. We did some Jackbox games. We played
Ooh, love that.
what's that game?
Quarry.
The Quarry. Yes, the Quarry. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Did y'all do what is it? Murder Trivia Party or Trivia Murder Party, whatever it's called? Did y'all do that one?
No.
We did some of the newer ones. So they had some. It was some that were trivia,
What
but it
was
wasn't
It was
like
a trivia.
Okay, where
I can't remember
my
what
real
theme
question
it
It was
was.
similar.
Did Brandy win?
Actually, who won the first? I think.
Oh wait,
Was it
it was Nico.
Nico won one?
Nico.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
And
Okay,
I feel like somebody else won another one. I feel like Casey won one, didn't he?
I think so.
Maybe.
Casey.
Yeah.
But yeah, Casey was there too. I forgot to say that. Yeah, shout out to Casey. That was my first time hanging out with Casey. I've only met Casey once in person at Skip's Play, but I got to actually play video games with Casey, so that was fun. Like in person, that was fun.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Thank you, Skip, though, for that. It's funny because like we spent so much time like talking about like. By the way, shout out to Drado for coming up with the trailers and editing the lion's share of our videos. If you do our content on YouTube. Shout out to him for that. Shout out to Skip for this beautiful layout. If you like the season 2 layout, which I know I do, you have Skip to thank. And what I was gonna say is, I spent a lot of time last night asking Skip, so like, what was the like thought process behind this? The design theory, like, where did this come from? Was it this that led to that? Because I'm very much a theme-oriented guy, and Skip's just like,
Yeah.
it looked good. That's why I spent the time for it. And so it's so funny to me to have Skip of all people be the one to like point out the link between our handedness, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Oh yeah,
and find
With
the
the
deeper themes.
The
there.
details, yeah, for sure.
I
You're
really
saying,
appreciate that.
given that the layout has no detail.
No, given that it has so much.
No. I know. I'm kidding. No, yeah. We wanted to tailor this, and initially it looked one way, and Phil was like, "How can we personalize it a little bit more?" And so there are so many different things that you'll be able to see that I wanted to hone in and make sure that we are cohesive and as one as possible, but we still have all of these individualities and what makes us us. And so I wanted to be able to, and more of that will come, but we wanted you to know just a smidgen of who we are by all of the different details that you'll see from, screen to screen, scene to scene, all that good stuff. I wanted to make it look great. And
Killed it.
Yeah.
Did
Dynamic,
the damn
interesting,
thing,
full
for sure.
personality. I always likened it to like Power Rangers and X-Men, which are different sets of gloves anyways. But like that sense of like there's a uniform, but everyone has like their own spin on it a little bit.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And that's kind of like what I was, pushing for, and Skip was more than happy to oblige. So
I can't wait to add more. I can't wait to really hone in on those details, and even this screen itself, as beautiful as it is, I want to add so much more.
For sure.
So many things to dress
And
up.
I think
But yes.
I think that's a good dynamic that we have. Is like, yes, Skip did a great job putting this all together. As y'all can see, this screen here, this was Skip. Like he took the time to create this. But at the same time, we have Phil, who is not shy to say, "Hey, make the customize this so it fits like us, and do this." Because Skip will just be like, "Hey, it's like this, it's good to go." But then we have Phil, who will give that side or perspective of it, like make it look like something that's us. And then I'm the one that's like, Skip, calm down on your ideas, take your time. We got plenty of time to go through this.
Yeah.
So it's like a great dynamic between the
it's all
three
in
of us.
editing.
yeah,
Yeah,
same
truly.
thing
It's a great
with
marriage.
same thing with the editing process. Like we
The
started
editing
off
process
as,
too.
and we'll have some more videos that kind of give you guys more of a deep dive of like the behind the scenes. But it we started off Drado and I were co-editors, which was a lot to figure out, being in different states and whatnot, and having different personal sensibilities and stuff. So it was definitely a learning curve. But we transitioned more into like Drado's lead editor. Skip is lead designer. I think the closest thing I can think of now for myself is like showrunner.
Leader.
Like it's just sort of like just themes, and like planning seasons and schedules and things. So
for sure.
But yeah, we each have those temperaments and those skill sets, and it made more sense to like let everyone have a lane and let them just be the best they could be at that, and like give everyone permission to just sort of be unburdened and know that you still have a team. Like Skip's still gonna say like, I think it should be a little bit more this.
Yep.
If there's a trailer, and I'm definitely not shy about it. And then vice versa. Like we all do all the things and all have input, but ultimately we let everyone kind of like lead a lane, and then we work together to make it HMS. And I really have come to like that.
I appreciate each and every one of our individual eyes. We have like a eye for a specific detail, and that's what makes it hone in and look professional. And we intend to always try to improve and make the stream better for you and everyone else watching.
Yes.
And since he did say it, but I'm still gonna brag on him. Shout out to Drado for being the anchor. Like we always like kind of. He always is kind of marketed it as the cooler head and like the chill one of the group, but like it's very helpful.
It's very much just like.
And if
I just don't want y'all to stress yourselves out. That's what it is. I don't want y'all to be like staying up till 5 a.m. trying to get something done, and I'm like trying to be supportive, but I'm tired too. So it's like,
Drado's like, I want to go to bed. And we all need to go to bed. But no, Drado's great because.
But then I'm like, but first.
Cool thing if you want to watch Jackie Chan Adventures. Drado's great because I feel like if we didn't have Drado, nothing would ever come out, right? Because Skip and I have such particular eyes and sensibilities. And it's nice to have that counterbalance, and. Yeah, we all strengthen each other.
Yeah, we do.
You should have a shirt, Drado,
facts.
that says, let's not.
Let's not.
That would be let's make that happen, hard mode community. We gotta get that.
Yes.
And I'm there to push a little bit further because, like, I think if I didn't say some things at the beginning, we would have just put out like raw footage. I feel like we would have just been like, hey, we filmed the thing, like watch it. And I'm like, no, we're all such artists. It's got to be a little bit more than that. But you also do have to still be grounded and not fly off to the moon. And with all that. So like we all, and Skip keeps it fun. That's another thing. Skip reminds us that this is supposed to be fun. We're not supposed to get so lost in the sauce of making a professional thing that we stop laughing and stop having a good time. Life gaming fandom, like we're, I get really passionate and excited about things and ideas, and Drado's like, got the game mode on where he's focused, and, Skip's got that life energy that we all need, I didn't pick those
dynamic
things for the slogan by accident. But
Drado, amazing
do you have
chemistry.
Else to say about your birthday and
birthday stuff? So I just wanted to show some love to, all the Geminis out there. I do hear like certain things said about Geminis and about how we're kind of like two-sided,
two-faced,
two-faced, all these twos in front of the words.
That's just what I hear.
That's yes, and that's the consent. That's people say that. Yeah,
that's
fake.
Yep. Because there's a negative connotation to everything, right? And they don't want to spin that narrative, or because I've come across that.
And I feel like that's most all, if not all, zodiac signs. It's like it's something negative about each one that somebody's gonna say. I've been around people who will only date certain specific zodiac signs.
Those are
ridiculous.
I don't agree, but
That's
to each his own. You know, if that's what you into, good luck.
That's like star sign eugenics. That's like prejudice.
Yeah,
At that point, like, you know,
yeah,
it's just
basically.
Like, oh, you were born
Yeah, it's
at this time, and so therefore I won't know what they do. I'm like, damn, you don't even,
That's
you don't
crazy.
even know me yet
At
right?
all.
Like,
Good luck.
you just threw away an entire group of
Good
people.
luck.
Because of
What I
the
say today is good luck
sign.
being
That's
lonely.
crazy.
Good luck being lonely. Because when you put
Man.
that type of confines on it, it's like there's some ridiculous standards in terms of dating that we won't go into, but that's one of them where you're
That's
like,
one of them.
You're
Yeah.
gonna cut out 90% of the population. You know what I mean? Because of their sign, and you want to date 10%. Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, that's
It's silly. To
It's
Samba music
hard out here.
before Samba bounced, Samba was like Aries all day. We have a hard shell exterior, but we were gummy on the inside. We just protect it. We not mean. We just misunderstood. Geminis are my besties, and this is important because
Hey.
I literally had a conversation with someone I used to date, who is an Aries, and like called out like on social media if I was like, so and so is my favorite Gemini, and it wasn't me. I was like, what the fuck? And I was just explaining, like I went off in the comments jokingly, like, hey, Aries and Gemini are supposed to be like compatible. We're supposed to like get along. But yeah, no, people have these experiences with certain people. And I think these misconceptions come, which is a great segue, because I think all those things, like, I will say the thing about the Gemini, the Zodiac, is that it is cool that it is a little bit balanced and that like they give you pros and cons. But I think some people get carried away with both. And like,
Yes, that part.
look, you gotta meet the person, because the way I express Gemini is not the same way somebody else expresses Gemini. And it's sort of like medicine, where like just because you have a certain build or genetics or condition doesn't mean you're going to have everything that comes with that gene typically. Like, things are going to present differently. And I think that, same thing with the Zodiac. You might have some of the traits, and you might find you have more in common with another sign in some ways. Like it's not as cut and dry, but I've definitely received some of the things Drado mentioned where like, it's literally flipped, where people didn't expect me to be a Gemini because they liked me and I was so affable and like easy to get along with. They're like, "Wait, you're a Gemini?"
Yeah, same.
That don't make no sense though. I'm like, what's that supposed to be?
Exactly. It's like
I
it
get
goes
that
to
with
what,
Scorpio.
yeah, it goes to what you said, Skip. And it's like with me, I don't follow horoscopes like that. But if we're going to do that, then I will say Geminis tend to be great listeners. They tend to be very caring people. We're very aware, and we're very we're very friendly people. We like being around people. We like talking. We like conversing. We like all these things. So yeah, that's just my take on Geminis, I guess.
To build on that, I also feel like they're the twins, right? So like child of two worlds belongs to neither, right? So I think that's part of what makes us ostracized, but part of what makes us so compatible with most people.
Yes.
And so social is because we touched on this in the our coverage of the announcement of Linkin Park coming back, right? From Zero. And in that video, I mentioned kind of in high school, I floated a lot at lunchtime because I didn't have a specific clique that I fell into.
Same.
And I ended up hanging out having interesting conversations with different people. And there's a bit of feeling like, I can kick it with any of you, but at the same time, I don't feel like I belong to any of these groups either. So sometimes it was a little bit lonely, but other times it was an awesome opportunity to really not have any reserved feelings towards just hey, let me just talk to that person. I wonder what they're about. Whereas somebody who feels very entrenched in this is my identity, this is my tribe, this is my clique, they might be like, I can't talk to that person because they don't fit in with what we're doing over here. And so I think Gemini opens itself up to being very social, the social butterfly, if you will. It's funny that I'm actually very introverted in a lot of ways.
I was gonna say same.
Yeah, but we do also enjoy having dope conversations, like real conversations with people, and learning about people, and we also like to flirt. So
Man, you know what's crazy about that? That is true because I've gotten so much, not hate, but I've been attacked for being a flirt at times because it's like it's not intentional. I'm just being me. This is just my, personality. I'm just being nice, but people look at it as I'm flirting with people, but that's not the case at all. I'm just really nice. It's crazy.
It happens a lot. I think sometimes for me it's my subconscious. Like I remember years and years ago, I would be my early 20s. We should tell you a little bit of how old I am, but like in my early 20s, I went to a convention in Michigan. I think it might have been a Comic-Con or something, or some sort of anime con, and there's this girl, this young woman who was dressed up as Squall Leonhardt from Final Fantasy VIII. And that's like my dude, right? Like Cloud and Squall from 7 and 8 are like my dudes. And so like when I saw that, she had the gun blade and everything, the jacket, I was like, I gotta go talk to her. And I was just chatting her up, and lo and behold, her boyfriend's like right there, just standing next to me. I was just chatting her up, and when I walked away, Ray's like, "You just flirted with that girl in front of her boyfriend." And I was like, "Oh, was I?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, she is attractive." And I didn't think about it. It wasn't a conscious like, "I'm gonna go hit on her."
Start flirting with the boyfriend. That's how you do it.
That's the next level move. That's the bisexual playbook.
They'll never see it coming.
And then nobody gets mad.
Yep.
Goodness
They either
gracious.
get confused or they both get flattered.
You go, oh, hi.
Exactly.
I didn't see you standing there.
I didn't see you standing there. But now that I do see you standing here, how you doing?
How you doing?
1,000%.
Exactly.
Which is a great segue. But before we do, I want to say the ones I do know, I know our homie Mark, your goddamn dad, was a June birthday. Shout out to Mark. Community.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else I know for sure in our community, but
and that's his. That's his screen name. That's his handle.
Yes.
Your goddamn dad. Yeah.
And Mark, your goddamn dad. Just had a birthday.
If you're on the Red app, we just found out it's like amoeba something amoeba the other night. I gotta think about it. I gotta find it again. But yeah, he's got a couple of names floating around. He tried to change it up on Twitch for a while, but he had to return to the OG jersey, It just fit better. But no, shout out to him. He's a wonderful friend. As Drado knows, because Drado was there, helped me move a number of times as well. And just one of those true blue friends that like, even if you don't talk for weeks or months or whatever because of life and schedules, will show up on a moment's notice if you need them,
True.
And I really appreciate that about you. So we love you, Mark. Shout out to you.
Shout out to Mark.
But if we missed any of our other June birthdays, we just want to say start posting that shit in the Discord.
Please.
Because how else can we know?
Let us know.
How else can we know?
Let us know, please.
They got on me because I didn't post my own birthday in the Discord. So yes, do that. Do that because I didn't do it.
Absolutely. Also, shout out since we didn't get to be doing this live. Shout out to all the fathers out there. We already gave Drado his love. You can see it in the Discord and socials. But shout out to Father's Day being in June as well. And I guess the proper segue from the bisexual comments for
what else is in June?
What else is in June?
Skip. We obviously have Pride Month.
That's the segue. There you go.
Yes, there it is. We did that seamlessly, y'all. Yes.
I think I saw a scene.
Embarrassing. Made me look bad.
Stop it. No. Pride Month. I feel like we just came. We're on we just came out of it, and it was a bit of a whirlwind. You know, us just recognizing our stance in the community and all of the contributions and you know, awareness of being LGBTQIA plus.
Yes.
And recognizing every single mark that we have made on the culture. And we pay tribute to that, much like other months, but we want to recognize that and make sure that people understand that we are here, we are members of the community, and our voices matter. And so I hate that certain things like that are reduced to a month, but we gonna celebrate, and we're gonna use the whole month to do so. And I feel like Pride got started off like early. You know,
it did.
Like, I felt like it hit my airwaves like immediately, like midnight turned over, and my timeline was saturated.
It's literally overnight. It's like every business, every organization on the planet goes from their logo to rainbows.
Like literally,
yes,
soon
and
as,
thank you.
as soon as June 1st hit, like there was literally like I think it was literally some sort of event or parade or something that literally happened that day. It was like everybody was tuned in for it. That
like we busting through
that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
We busting through and we making sure, you know, like I feel like people were partying. I feel like people were on the cruise ships. I feel like it was everywhere. And thanks for the representation. You know what I mean? I feel like even our television sets were and movies were invoking just a little bit of that that, you know, just I felt the love this year.
For sure.
Even in the midst of such sad times, because I feel like because we're in like our America is in such the state that it's in, I felt like it was imperative for a lot of people to feel as though like I need to recognize all of those who have contributed. So or who are part of that community. I feel like everyone was so much more proud to stand in their full selves this year than I've ever seen. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with the way that our country is today.
Yeah, you know, and I wanted to say that, like, you know, and please feel free to share with us what Pride has been like and means to you if you partake. And not everyone who is part of the LGBTQ plus the queer community necessarily participates in Pride, and if that's true, like that's fine. But like, I'd be curious to know like what's you know what it is to you. You know, I have reason to believe we'll definitely come back to this topic in a more in-depth way down the road.
Oh, for sure.
There's a lot to talk about. But I just want to say in general, though, Pride is one of those double-edged swords for me where it's like, and I've yet to go to a Pride, just to be clear. And it's funny that that's happened. But I will say that I'm thankful that it exists. It's important that we need it. And especially to Skip's point with the attack on our trans brothers and sisters out there and our trans, you know, family out there, you know, and gender non-conforming family out there. Like, you know, it's important to remember, you know, Stonewall, where Pride started, who started it, you know, Marsha P. Johnson and so many other queer people that were present, banding together. The miracle that nobody was actually like killed, even though it was a violent, you know, like uprising of sorts. And that without those proud community members standing together and saying, no, you don't get to bully us out of this space. You know, people like Skip and I get so much more room to run and, you know, and bear that responsibility of like, you know, carrying it forward, you know, and making
Yes.
sure that we're creating space for the next people coming through as well. And even people before us, like, you know, it's the further you go back in time, the harder it was to be openly gay, lesbian, bi, trans. You know, it was harder to be those things. And so, like, you know, there's no shame if you're, you know, if you're 50, 60, you know, 70, and you have not been out yet, or you're only recently out. Like, it's not a mark of shame. And if anything, I could say in short is that the only reason it's a double-edged sword is because I wish we lived in a world where we didn't need Pride and we didn't need Coming Out Day. But because we do, they're amazing accomplishments, and I'm glad they're here. And I'm aware that businesses do capitalize for vapid and like greedy reasons. But for the people who work in those spaces, who are of the community or allies of the community, like Drado, like it's not nothing to them, right?
Right.
That was something that I got talked about a lot in like in comic books of all things. You know, there would be these queer stories. You know, Tim Drake comes out as bisexual, et cetera, et cetera. And like people will go, well, oh, isn't that just kind of pandering because Warner Brothers just wants, you know, or DC Comics just wants. And I'm like, yeah, sure, the suits just want the representation money, right? But for the writers and artists that tell those stories, it means something to them, right? Even if the corporate bosses are doing it for shallow reasons, the people they hire usually are doing it for personal reasons. So let's not forget that. I guess that's all I had.
Yeah, I recognize that now, oddly enough, that every superhero has an origin story, and coming out to me is an origin story. Coming out to me is stepping out and really stepping in to your powers, if you will. Just because for me, it was a sense of rebirth. You know what I mean? It was a sense of stepping into, because now I have to figure out how to walk and talk and be authentic, as opposed to hiding away, or, you know, like those things. Or it's very different for each superhero. Every superhero has a different origin story, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are without power. And for me, that was the moment that I could step in and start honing that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we watch all of these superheroes and we watch the training montage, right? So like the training montage is really solidifying and standing firm in who you are. And so I feel like there are so many different parallels, which is why I love X-Men, which is why I love all of those things that have a variety of stories, because they're telling how we all need to coexist and work together for a common goal. That's huge to me. And I feel like I see that a lot during Pride Month. And I want to touch on what you were saying a little bit earlier. Disney has every Pride Month, Clarabelle Cow comes out there and sashays her ass off. And recently I saw a meme in a post where she was dancing, she was getting it, and the caption said that Clarabelle Cow was the one who threw that brick at Stonewall. But no, it was definitely Marsha P. Johnson. But like the way she was sashaying,
Right.
it was hilarious. But it's moments like that where we see representation and they pop up in certain matters each year. That I just appreciate those who recognize those who have come before, who have paved the way for us to be able to stand firm in who we are. And we still got a long way to go. And it's an uphill battle for sure, but at least I see more people working on the uphill. And, you know, than I have in the past, for sure. They're making themselves known, and we appreciate it, and, you know, showing pride. And thank you,
Absolutely.
Drado, for being an ally. Thank you for cowering in the face of all that we are. Sometimes we may touch into that, and we don't always see that from a straight black man in the black community. You don't always see
So I've heard. So I've heard.
You know what I mean? But
which is a
thank you for
really,
being an ally,
again,
truly.
on another video we'll go in, but like it's really
Yeah.
a deep rooted thing that ties to like really
Huge.
the patriarchy, in the sense of like misogyny, because like a lot of the fear in the black community and amongst men is being seen as girl like or sissy or whatever, and so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
queerness
Deep rooted.
for a lot of
Very
people
simple, yeah.
invites that, and yeah, so like there's this fear of being associated with femininity and whatever,
And shame applied to it.
right, yeah, so
You know
like
what I
I think
mean? Like,
that
it's like-
that deters a lot of it. There's also some religious context to it. There's a lot of reasons it is prevalent across the board, but also prevalent within the black community, though I want to point out that it's not fair that it's completely stigmatized against black people, because like, you know, there are plenty of black people like Drado who are down and are loving and reasonable and logical. But I will admit that, yeah, like it's not, culturally speaking, it's often not been something that's been promoted as a positive in the black community. And I think there are a lot of reasons why, a lot of deep rooted things in there.
Yeah, for sure. And no, I've always been just huh?
Yeah, we're not saying that, Professor.
Oh, you
We're not
talking
saying
about
that, Professor.
yeah, let me
I think
acknowledge
he's
what
just- I
Professor
think
is
he's just
saying.
meant
Let me
that, I think he's just being supportive. Yeah.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
No, and thank you for that trigger warning, Professor. I appreciate you. But no, you're right.
Thank you.
You know, I've been raised a specific way by parents who taught me to, you know, be respectful, love all, not you know, have that hatred in my body. You know, always be like, you know, there for people. You know, and I've always just been there to support not only just those in the LGBTQ plus community, but just, you know, all over. You know, I've always been that type of person to, you know, find that line of we can all, you know, be cultural and just, you know, be in the rooms together and have conversations without it escalating or, you know, having to turn into something nasty or ugly. We can just talk, be around each other, have fun, because I look at people as, you know, human beings first and foremost. Like we're all people, you know, we all have certain stuff we're going through. I go through it as a black male in the US, you know, so it's we all have our situations that we're dealing with, personal stuff as well, that I can relate to. You know, I have people in my family that are of the community. I have people that I am friends with that are of the community. So to me, it's the norm. You know, I've been around it my whole life. I've had coworkers. I've been hit on by friends who were of the community. So I take that as a, you know, a compliment. So, you know, it's fine with me. So no, shout out.
As one should.
Yeah, exactly.
And shout out to
Exactly.
shout out to Mama Drado, who also had a birthday.
Shout out to Mama Drado. Her birthday was June 19th. Juneteenth. That was her birthday.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
shout
yes.
out to my moms. Absolutely.
Awesome woman. I haven't had the pleasure of necessarily meeting face to face, but
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely gotta make that happen.
Exactly.
yeah, I would love that. But you know, it's one of those things where like I sometimes tell people, like, you know, while I may not have a personal relationship with your parents, like I feel like I have a sense of them just because you turned out so great, right? Like Drado turned out like a wonderful person, and that doesn't happen without some sort of support, mentorship from somewhere, right? You know, and nurturing from somewhere. So shout
And
out.
now raising a wonderful person with another wonderful person. So
Man.
it's like
Agreed.
that's the cycle that we want.
Well, I mean, Drado Kid's kind of to be continued, so maybe we should. I'm just playing. Drado Kid's awesome. Drado Kid's awesome.
Okay, if you say so. No, I was just playing.
Drado Kid is currently in his villain era.
Them Tylers, bro. They are something else.
I sense a redemption arc, just over the horizon.
Yes,
I'm
it'll happen.
Every day is a battle. Every day is a battle.
Yes, yes.
The hope I have is that Drado Kid is a fan of Spider-Man, so I feel like that's got to rub off somewhere between the parenting and the Spider-Man. That's
for sure.
Yeah,
between Spider-Man and
right now he's like that.
I was gonna say between Spider-Man and Captain America, that's his two Marvel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Those were my Avengers
Right now,
characters.
he's
Let's
like
go.
that Louise Belcher from Bob's Burgers meme.
All right, everything's on fire. Why are you like this?
That's what
literally. and I'm the meme where the dog is sitting and everything is in flames behind him, like everything's fine. You know?
I'm fine. With a tie, with a fedora, I'm fine.
Just with the glazed over look in the eyes.
That part.
Oh, man.
Professor did have a question though. Professor did have a question. Speaking of that, for those, for those who do attend, do you think it was? Do you think it has changed from what it was to how it is now?
That would be something I can't speak on, unfortunately.
I think so. I think it has slightly. I think, like I was saying a little bit earlier, that I felt like it's a little bit more prevalent now because I feel like people want to stand in their truth amidst all that is going on with our country of saying that you can't be who you are. And so I think now people are really, really celebrating all that they are because we have all of those people up there saying that you can't. I just said that the same way twice, right? but
still,
you might be a Gemini.
No, it's where I feel like Pride Month, right? So like being proud and really, really honing in all of the facets is really a sense of I feel like it should be a sense of self-reflection as well as celebration. You should really get an understanding of who you are by possibly surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded.
Yes.
And I think when you do that, then you can see yourself across the way and say, we're similar in this way, and you can really get to relating a little bit more. I feel like Pride Month is, yes, about liberation just as well, about being free and letting your freak flag fly, as they say, and just celebrating all of those things, no matter how kinky, right? Because I feel like some people tend to put that away in a box, and then for some reason, Pride is about opening that up and letting people know exactly who you are and celebrating that, and then seeing across the way that someone is also within that community. And you should be coming out of Pride Month with more friends and love, life, and laughter, and letting go of possibly some friends. Like all of those things. Really, it's just coming out of the month a little bit more proud of who you are.
Absolutely.
Facts.
All of that. Thank you, Professor, for the great commentary and
Thank you.
I also said, I think when Drado was speaking, I agree with that. It's just too many folks use the differences to judge or put into boxes.
And
Yeah,
that's
my brother went to one, and he said he had a good time, and there were videos on his page of him attending one. That's nice.
Yeah, and that's that's the world we live in, Professor. That's you have different types of people in this
Yes.
world, but that does not mean you have to be like those people. You can go find out for yourself.
Right.
Take that time to get to know somebody, talk to somebody, understand them. Have that conversation with them, that one-on-one. To instead of it's unfortunate that people are raised by parents who may be that way, and it's kind of brought into the household, and you don't really know. You just know from what you were told or what you were, and that's unfortunate.
Yes.
But I say to those people, definitely take the time out to learn and understand for yourself. Go out there, see what's out there.
And shout out to those who are a part of that community and are born in households with parents like that. Sometimes it's very, very difficult for you to want to be your full self when every day you have someone kind of putting you in a box, saying that you can't be, and being surrounded by that.
Or putting you down.
Commend you for coming out of that box and standing firm and true in who you are. And for those who are still within it, my support is with you.
Absolutely. 1000%.
Not everybody has to come out at the same time. Like when it's time for you to be your full self and you want to step into that superhero era of your life, we'll be on this side waiting for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said earlier, no, there's no age too early and no age too late.
Nope.
No.
And there's no shame in what your story is. Not everyone has a safe space to do so.
True.
Sometimes you might live in a whole community where it's unsafe physically and mentally to necessarily step out with that very important truth. But if you can hold on to maybe a trusted loved one here or there who accepts you, or if you can't get it where you are, online, there are bunches of communities that you can be a part of that will celebrate you for who you really are and how you really feel inside. And we're one of them. You can always come hang with us here as well. That's not marketing. That's just legitimately just wanting you to know that there's spaces for you. And because I think sometimes that can be one of the hardest parts. In that vein, June was a lot well-packed, and it's incredible.
Yeah, June was a lot of things.
It's a stacked month for sure.
It was a well-packed month.
Yeah.
I must say, for myself, for me,
Yes.
for me, I missed the birthdays and Pride Month and celebrating even more of who we are specific to this stream. June was Juneteenth. Had Juneteenth all up in there, and like Drado said a little bit earlier, we shout out Mama Drado for having
Mama Drado.
Juneteenth.
And there's also
the 19th. Okay.
Yeah, it's the exact. The 19th is her birthday, and again, that's another day of Juneteenth, her birthday, and
Celebration.
then another celebration and awareness as well. If you want to take it, Phil.
Absolutely. So Juneteenth, obviously, June 19th historically, forgive me for not knowing the year because it's history. But, Juneteenth was, a day celebrated because it was when all black people were finally free in America, right? Don't get it twisted. The Declaration of Independence, first of all, Declaration of Independence didn't really free us so much as it just sort of declared what was already happening. We were freeing ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do the actual history, black slaves were freeing themselves, and then Lincoln just sort of said, yeah, this is happening. But even with the Declaration, not all of us became free until much later, and the date happened to fall on June 19th, and that's why we celebrate Juneteenth. It's a very, very important black holiday, especially a black American holiday, saying that we deserve to be free and belong here. It's partially why, and I know it gets political, but I don't care. It's partially why I don't really celebrate the 4th of July. I know that's the weekend we're in right now. Because to me, it's like, and that's not really Independence Day if not everybody was free, right? So,
Correct.
you know, I will always rock with Juneteenth and, you know, celebrate. And it's funny, I have a picture from a few years ago, Juneteenth, where the gag was I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends in Michigan, but they were all white. So I made them take this picture of me. I was like, this is me celebrating Juneteenth. Just like being like 6 white people. So much kitchen. It was great. But to Drado's point, Juneteenth, because of its historic black roots, was also selected to be World Sickle Cell Disease Awareness Day. So World Sickle Cell Awareness Day falls on June 19th as well. There is a whole month as well. Last year, you know, around these times, I had done a fundraiser with the Cayenne Wellness Center, which is the California branch of the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. Sickle Cell Disease Association of America is a great organization that helps patients who have sickle cell anemia, such as myself, have resources and support and funding. They fund research, they fund outreach, they supply rides to medical appointments, they provide counseling, free counseling for people who are struggling with sickle cell anemia. They run courses that train not only sickle cell patients, but their families and support systems on what the disease is, how it came to be, what you can do to survive it and thrive with it. And, you know, they do amazing work, and shout out to them. And Cayenne Wellness is based in Burbank, California. And so I partnered with them. And it was great to do that fundraiser. And these guys were on board for helping me out. And so many of the community that we have, so much of the community that we have showed up to support. So many great streamers that I still need to do a better job of thanking, other than that one post I made. You know, just really, it was dope the moment I said, this is something I would like to do on Phil's Special Meter channel.
Yeah.
I would say like 90% of people just said, yeah, sure, just let me know when.
That's cool.
No fuss, no nothing, you know. And
That's
some
dope.
of them I'm not close to like I am Drado and Skip. Some of them are just like, you know, not strangers, but like I hang out in their streams, so they didn't necessarily hang out in mine.
Yeah.
So it was really cool that people were so supportive and ready for it. But yeah, sickle cell anemia. I won't go too far in, but you can look it up. But the disease I have sickle cell anemia genotype SS. Is marked by basically your red blood cells end up deformed. So like it's from birth. There's nothing I can do. You can't catch it. You know, it's nothing you can do to change it. It's just genetics. So basically, in Africa, in South Africa, malaria was a huge problem and being carried by mosquitoes. A lot of people were dying of it. And as a evolutionary response, certain people's bodies started developing a sickle cell gene, which caused a low percentage of their red blood cells to be deformed. And so you usually have like a nice, healthy, round, soft red blood cell. In sickle cell, some of them end up broken down in half, and you get a half crescent moon shape, which is where the disease gets its name, like a sickle, right? It's curved and rigid. And it doesn't carry enough oxygen. But the advantage of having trait, which is what both of my parents had, the advantage of having trait in South Africa during those times was that it made you immune to malaria because the disease just couldn't survive inside of you. So it was an evolutionary response. Unfortunately, when people with trait started to mate with each other, many of their offspring started to have a mutation that caused the disease. And so the disease is awful. Not only does it cause chronic pain and severe pain episodes that are completely debilitating called sickle cell pain crises. It causes, you know, fatigue because of the low amount of oxygen that's circulating. It can cause, you know, organ damage, bone damage, things that just happen because your body's not getting the resources it needs. And yeah, it can put you at risk of stroke, heart failure, a lot of things. But the thing about it is, on top of all of that, it doesn't protect you from malaria. If you have the trait, you're protected. If you have the disease, you'll catch it faster and it'll mess you up faster. So it's just sort of this unfortunate short end of the stick that happened. It's nobody's fault. And thankfully, over the years, there have been some very dedicated hematologists and advocates and medical professionals who have fought to make it more of an issue because it's a disease that affects mostly Black and brown individuals. So you're talking about Black people, Latinx, Southeast Asian to some degree, or those of Arab descent. Because of this, it doesn't get as much, I guess, media coverage as, say, other diseases that may affect the fair-skinned as well. So because of that, it's very important to have World Sickle Cell Awareness Day because a lot of people just didn't know it existed. And one of the best things that happened in my fundraiser last year, even though, we didn't raise my goal, what was cool was so many people had chimed in and said, I honestly didn't know this was a thing that existed. And thank you for teaching me about it.
Yeah.
And that made it all worthwhile.
That's dope. That's really dope.
Yeah. I mean,
It was a
well,
great event too that you
for
threw.
Every person. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was very informative and it was fun. We had a great
everyone
time.
is aware.
Yeah. We tried to mix the information with the fun, and so we didn't get to repeat this year the way I wanted because too many things happened. Fires started off LA this year, among other things. But I may be able to pull something together. There is a Sickle Cell Disease Awareness Month, which is in September. In fact, all blood disorders are celebrated by awareness in September. So my younger sister had a type of leukemia, chronic myeloid leukemia, which I get to say she had because she's cured thanks to me.
Hey, round of applause.
Thank you to the community for supporting her fundraiser. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Rowdy Ray Ray, she had that disease, and so she shared that month as well. And yeah, blood disorders are celebrated and talked about in September. So I might try to throw something together for then. But just know that if you're interested in more information about sickle cell disease and how it affects people, you can check out the Sickle Cell Disease Association of America. They have their own website. You can also check out the Cayenne Wellness Center. If you Google those resources will pop up for you, and you can find out more about how you can help, how you can be more informed, and just what it's like. Plenty of amazing people had it. Apparently, before we transition, it's theorized that Miles Davis had it, which probably contributed to his substance abuse because back then people weren't really treating it. So I really feel thankful that we've come so far to the point where some people are cured now, which is great. There's no universal cure yet. So my brother and I, unfortunately, shout out to Star Cardinal, are not eligible for the cures that are currently available. But the fact that anyone can say they could be free of that disease, incredible. Not something we thought was possible when we were children. So just really thankful. Just really, really, really thankful.
Oh, that's really dope. I was gonna say, I know we've gone through a lot of June stuff. Again, it's been a very, very packed month full of stuff.
Yes.
We did have something else that we were going to talk about later, but I feel like we might as well talk about it now. That happened in June.
Yeah, go for it, Drado.
Which was, for those that aren't aware, just the month of June was African American Music Appreciation. So I definitely wanted to just show some love to a lot of our artists who have, from any genre. There are so many types of music out there for everybody. And being a person of color, I am one who, tends to dive into all of those genres, especially if it's a genre I've never even, been savvy to before. I would want to, learn and see what it's about. It's some music out there I still haven't. I don't know nothing about opera. I'm sure it's some some people out there that's got some opera to put me on. So I wanted to take this time out to just show some love and shout out an artist or two that we are fans of or have been listening to that's of color that we can recommend.
Yes.
For me, the person that I wanted to talk about his name is Kenny Hoopla. Kenny Hoopla. He is a indie rock artist who I discovered during the pandemic. I discovered him during the pandemic. That was the time where I was literally just listening to music because we obviously didn't go anywhere. So it was my time to stack my Spotify playlist with just a bunch of different types of music.
And Drado, while you're describing this, what's a Kenny Hoopla song I can add to the queue right now?
What's a good one? Add in Kenny Hoopla.
I'm saying How I Rest in Peace If I'm Buried. Stella, Hollywood Sucks.
Hollywood Sucks is a good one. I like Hollywood Sucks. Do that. Yeah, so he has a ton of like topic informative songs, but they're really they're the way that they're performed, they're like anthems, so to speak. Like you can definitely listen to them and just vibe out without having it be like too political or too, informative. It's just something to just have fun with, but it's still important in terms of what he's talking about. He has also a collab with Travis Barker. So if you're a fan of Travis Barker, you will enjoy the project that they have. They got a nice little EP that they did together where he's drumming on all the songs and Travis Barker's drumming on all the songs and Kenny is doing his thing. So it's definitely a dope project to check out. I think the name of the project,
Travis is on this track. Dope.
I think the name of the project, if I'm not mistaken, is, I want to get the actual title of it, so that way in case anybody wants to check it out, is Survivor's Guilt, the mixtape. So it is a mixtape. So it's called Survivor's Guilt, the mixtape.
Love that.
And it is on Spotify and other streaming platforms. So definitely check it out.
And listening to this, Kenny's vocals sounds like it would be right at home in like a Blink-182 song.
Yeah.
So
if you're a fan of that type of music, Blink-182 or those type of artists, definitely check them out. Highly recommend. What about y'all two? Y'all got any? Yeah, absolutely.
For putting me on, putting us all on. So remember,
absolutely.
Kenny Hoopla, check that artist out.
Yes, sir.
Can you type that in chat?
Yes, sir. Kenny Hoopla. I got y'all. Make sure y'all know how to spell it. So it's Kenny Hoopla. It's all one word put together, but it's like capitalized. So Kenny Hoopla, just like that.
Dope. When we get all of our artists on there, we'll put it in we'll pin it. We'll pin all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Chat message. I had an artist that I've been following for the past, several months to maybe a year. It's funny to back my way into him through just one of his other skill sets. So the artist I'm going to recommend is Mandela Iskia. Essentially, Mandela Iskia, I found him on Instagram by doing these fucking hilarious recaps of like 90s and 80s like animated series, like 80s, 90s, and early 2000s cartoons we all watched. So he does these hilarious recaps where he just sort of does a voiceover and like gives you like kind of like the download of what the episode was, but in the funniest way possible. They're all called Just Imagine or So Imagine. So yeah, he was great for that. And then every once in a while in his feed, which is really smart, he would start off a video that looked like it was going to be a So Imagine video, like about Superman the animated series or whatever, and then he would just throw in one of his rhymes. Like he would pretend that Superman is rocking his music. And so like through that, I started to go like, actually, this slaps.
That's
like
dope.
Yeah. Sometimes people try to promote something else they do, and it's like, oh, you don't do that as well as the thing I came here for. But I was legitimately like nodding my head and going, okay, I need to find this guy on Spotify. And if you guys are hanging out in our streams, we have a couple of the songs on the Marvel Rivals playlist. Kente Bandana is one that I put on there because he references Bruce Banner on it.
Nice.
But yeah, it's he's got some really clever rhymes, and I just think his ciphers are just so like well put together. Just really a refreshing, rejuvenating, like return to rap for me in the sense of like I love finding those artists that have something a little different to say. And he speaks on just like life experiences of like you know, people being two-faced friends, or you know, people trying to put you in a box and tell you like how you're supposed to be able to do things, and what you can and can't do. You know, getting caught in haterade battles. Like, he just talks about all these things that, you know, just so specific to him, but also universal. And I really dig it. It's a whole vibe. So definitely
dope.
check him out. Yeah.
You got a favorite song by him, Phil?
Ooh, yes. This would be, I gotta make sure I got the name right. Let's see. There it is. It's the artist. And let me find the songs. Okay. Ugly Drunklings is probably my favorite track from him. So it's ugly and the word drunk, and then drunk, drunk, and then lings, all one word, Drunklings. Fucking fire. He's on the track with Tev95 is also featured on the track. And if you ever just need a song, like a stank face song, where you're sick of like people and you need to put them in their place, this is it.
Dope. That's fire. What about you, Skip? Who you got?
One artist that is probably not as known as much, but can be heard from time to time is Moses Sumney. Moses Sumney. The first time that I came across Moses Sumney's music was when I was watching Lovecraft Country. It's a part of the soundtrack, and I believe I want to say it's the 8th episode. I'm not quite sure, but the main character's father ends up going to, or we get to see a bit of his world, and he tends to go to this like hidden away gay bar because of the time, because he's dating someone who works there, and he is having trouble with stepping into his true self. And the moment that he does is such a freeing moment, and it's just a sense of release. And they play Moses Sumney, and the song is gorgeous. It's beautiful. It has all of these cinematic tones to it. He's like an indie pop artist, but that would be pigeonholing him into one thing. You may find a lot of his music on soundtracks, if you will. There's HBO tends to use a lot of his stuff, so his stuff has been featured on certain shows like Random Acts of Flyness, Insecure, and also on Netflix, Orange is the New Black, Dear White People. He's made music that has been featured in Creed. He's a phenomenal musician as well as artist, and I just wanted to, if you have not listened to his stuff and you want to feel a little bit like a superhero, or if you want to get in your feelings, Moses Sumney is the way to go. He's just the stuff that he does with a particular track is just gorgeous in manners that you didn't imagine for a song to go. It tends to go, and you're just on a ride the whole time. So
that's really dope.
That's cool.
Check out Moses Sumney, truly. And the song that plays during that scene, that is my favorite song, is called Lonely World. It's so existential. I didn't realize that he was featured in Insecure, and now that I think about it, the particular song is also one of my favorite songs, which is Keeps Me Alive. Now that one is a little bit more of introspective love song. Like it's just gorgeous. But all of his songs tend to take you on a trip, and really incredibly immersive. I feel
That's
like.
dope.
I love that. I love storytellers. So
Yeah, same.
Whenever
Same.
musicians or storytellers, that's like, vivid storytellers. That always gets me.
Yeah.
Same.
It's what got me into Eminem. It's what got me into Green Day. A lot of artists that I listen to just sort of like, you just can go into that world that they're describing, and it's so vivid, and it's like you lived it yourself. And sometimes there is that overlap, that connection. Linkin Park, same thing. So
There are a lot of musicians that are out there that say that they see music in terms of color, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they have all of
synesthesia,
it.
I think they call it.
I was gonna say there's a name for it, synesthesia, and with Moses Sumney, and I want to check out Kenny Hoopla and Mandela Eskia, but Moses Sumney is something about his composition where it feels as though he has got to have heard, or he must see music in color. Pharrell is also one of those people who says,
Yeah, he is.
I think it was featured in Piece by Piece,
Yep.
where he was talking about like he sat in front of a speaker and it was blaring at him, and he got to see color.
Yep.
That's so cool.
And so,
Yeah.
which is why he wanted Legos to tell his story, because
That
he
makes
wanted it to be
sense.
gorgeous and
I
vibrant.
forgot about that
and,
movie. Yeah.
So
That's dope.
I wish I saw it that way. That's so cool.
I think that would be cool. Lead singer of Fall Out Boy, Patrick Stump, also has synesthesia. So that certain songs just feel like red to him, or blue, or whatever it is, and it's just
Billie
like,
Eilish
fascinating.
too.
That's dope.
Okay, word.
She said the same thing. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of artists out there who may keep it to themselves, but I feel like they are born and put on this earth to make music, and that's apparent.
Yeah,
If I saw
absolutely.
music as color, I would go into music.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
gotta listen to that.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Like you don't see music in color? Like, is it just me?
Word, yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, gentlemen. Before we continue on, do you mind
Yes.
if we take a fiver or something?
A slight break,
So-
yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sick.
So yeah, we're gonna take a quick break, y'all. I'm gonna keep the tunes playing for you guys so you can still listen to the playlist, and we will be RB. Yeah, I literally just made that just now. All right. And we are back, y'all. What's going on? Did y'all miss us? Probably. Most likely.
What up?
Especially me, because I've been gone the longest. But no, I appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Not the longest.
It's been a good convo about all the fun things that happened in June. Goats, welcome back. Thank you, Goats.
Thank you.
We're going to transition to some entertainment for you guys. We got some game trailers that some of us have not seen that we're gonna watch all together. Which should be fun because these trailers are only maybe like a couple weeks old, so they're fairly new. But definitely gonna tune into a couple. I have no clue who you guys are. So I'm gonna let me actually switch scenes here, make sure this works properly because Skip taught me how to do this. So let's see. Boom, 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 and then boom. There we go. Bam! Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let me.
Sound effects coming soon.
Chat right there. All right, exactly.
Uh-oh. All right, there we go.
Uh-oh, who was that? That wasn't me.
That was you. That was both of us.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Skip. Okay, I'm like, that wasn't me. All right, let me turn the music off, guys, so everyone can hear the trailer. We're going to start off with Resident Evil Requiem, also known as Resident Evil 9 to some. I don't know who's played Village or 8, but or no, I'm sorry. It was
7.
Biohazard
7 Biohazard.
7, and then Village was 8. There we go. Mm-hmm. I don't know who's played those, but I have no clue if those tie into this game. I have no clue if Ethan is a thing. I don't know. I have no clue.
So, for clarity, have y'all seen this trailer?
I only saw the beginning. I have not watched the whole thing.
Beginning.
Okay.
Just the beginning.
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
So we're all in this. We're all in this. All right. Let's do it. All right. Everybody in chat, if you could please let me know if you can hear this when I press play. I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. And here we go.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Dope. Oh, she typing.
She was typing.
She knew exactly what she wanted to say.
Typing with a purpose.
She's from those old hacker movies in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Professor.
Matrix.
Grace.
There's an echo.
Grace.
It's an echo on my end.
Yeah.
Really? I don't hear an echo.
Oh, you know what? That might be me.
See?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was like, why do I hear it twice?
This game is reminding me of something that I would be sharing with y'all that relates to this game and birthdays and all that stuff. So I remember it for you.
That sounds ominous. All right.
nice vagaries, yes.
So, let me know when you're ready, Skip. I'll press play.
I'm ready.
Oh, okay, for sure. All right. We'll take it back just a smidge.
Grace Ashcroft.
Yes?
My office.
Oh, coming.
Her cubicle is a mess. Oh my God.
That's how my
What are you
office
getting
will look.
done?
Jesus Christ.
Nothing. What you typing? You need to be organizing.
This is about the report you asked for yesterday. It'll be ready in 3.
Someone get her an
No,
assistant.
2 days tops.
Put a hold on
She's
that
behind
for now.
on everything.
We found another body. One that exhibits the same pathology as the others we've been investigating. Now I need a good technical analyst on this.
Okay.
She don't
I
seem
need
like
your
it.
eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered. Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past.
This gonna be in first person.
Grace.
It looked like it.
Please don't be. This feels like Outlast.
What is this? Hey!
I'm calling HR.
Oh yeah, it's definitely first person.
Stay close.
Familiar vibes.
They're coming.
Yeah, that hallway looked familiar.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Who that? Wesker Jr.?
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
Oh,
We
is
need
that
to
the
keep our
bomb?
voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Oh yeah,
looks like
that's
the aftermath.
that's Raccoon City, ain't it?
Everyone's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, it is.
It is Raccoon City.
Yeah, it is. It's what's left of Raccoon City.
Oh, it's post. Further into the post-apocalypse.
What the hell was that?
That thing was similar to the baby.
It's an evil Requiem. 9. The Q is the 9. See it?
Into a 9. That's cool.
Oh,
Very
February.
fitting with what
They
they've been
sticking
doing for the
with the February dates.
That thing crawling off the wall looked like the thing from Spirited Away.
last couple-
Oh
a little bit,
yeah.
I was thinking of like the baby from 7, but yes. that
Yep,
is
the baby from
more
7
accurate
too.
shape.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Or from 8. From 8.
Was it? Oh yeah, yeah. You're
That was
right,
Village.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was Village. Yeah.
I haven't played
Fucked up,
Village.
super fucked up.
You should play Village, Skip. Play
I have to. I should.
For streaming purposes.
for streaming purposes.
Village is.
And
to me-
Biohazard. I haven't played Biohazard.
Oh, you haven't played that one either? Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
get to those.
To me,
At least once.
But hard mode, man. Hard mode. I'm tired of that. The father. I wish he would stop.
The
hunting.
father is pretty much the most annoying part about that game because you do it with
My
that
goodness.
the entire game basically.
We might have to.
Goodness
Yeah, we
gracious.
might have to get that on a HMS stream and then.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Or Skipper
me-
Finn stream.
I concur.
Either channel.
If
I'm happy
anything,
to
we
show
need.
up.
I need to invest in one of those heart rate monitors because
That would be fun too.
yeah, it's a problem. I know my blood pressure gets real high.
So for this,
I'm like-
for this trailer, first off, whoever her boss is, reporting to HR immediately. That is not how you approach a conversation about somebody's murdered mom.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't go, yeah, you should just probably deal with this. Just face it head on. Like, excuse me. First of all, you wouldn't assign the case to her because that would make her emotionally compromised, right? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
dude is
true.
all fucked up. He needs to be fired.
They clearly don't have nobody else because he could have looked to the left and to the right and said this was the wrong person.
He was treating her like she was a temp. Like, dang, you ain't got no type of empathy
Right,
for her.
I
She
presume
was
that
acting like it.
he either works for Umbrella or whatever the current evil organization is, because like that's some villain shit.
Crazy.
like I'm gonna intentionally give you this case that has such deep emotional scarring for you.
Crazy.
What I
and make
really
it sound like
want-
you need to do it.
What I really want is to be able to play as an older character. I love them implementing new characters, and that's great. But part of me needs a little bit of familiarity because I have no idea who she is, and I think that's part of the intrigue about it, right? But like,
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I'm just curious. I'm curious.
I was wondering if like she was gonna turn out to be Rose or whatever the. I guess you haven't played.
Yeah, I don't.
So it's hard to like really go into.
I don't think she is. I think this is a new character.
Okay, she's somebody brand new.
Seemed
Either
like it,
way,
yeah.
for some reason the thumbnail did have like what, Leon? I feel like
I saw pictures of Leon tied to this game, but from what I
Yeah.
read, they were saying he's not the main protagonist. So I'm not really sure why
Right. I'm trying to figure out.
they included
He's
him.
the antagonist.
I hope not. They already did that with Chris, and it was not fun.
Oh.
Sorry, but like, not he wasn't.
That's Village.
Like,
that's all
Yeah.
Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, I can't explain exactly what happens, but there is a little bit of like mystique around like, well, what is Chris up to? So I hope they don't play that card with Leon. But what I will say is, maybe it'll be like a Devil May Cry. What was it? 4? Maybe a 4. Like where you're playing as Nero, but like Dante still is in the story, and you can play a little bit of Dante.
Yeah.
But it's still Nero's game. It might be a little bit something like that, where maybe there's a Leon section, or like he gets a
companion.
separate ways type thing, or whatever. But maybe he's just there to be
Yeah.
like the supporting old hand at this.
I
But it's interesting that we're going back to Raccoon City a little bit.
I was gonna say I would hope we'll see him, or at least Claire, since we've gotten them for Resident Evil 2, and plus we haven't seen anyone in these newer games except for Chris.
Yeah.
So it would be dope to see where Leon and
Is it just me,
been up to.
or does the police department not look any worse? Like I feel like the outside still like the outside looks different for sure, just because it's been corroded for years after, and especially after the explosion and the bombing that
for sure.
they did. But but the inside was just like home. It just looked exactly like
We're just used to getting what we can get.
For sure.
whatever's in there has evolved into a mess, and
Now
I'm excited
it's
to
some
see
nasty
what the
looking shit
evolution
in
of
that
that.
game.
Yeah,
this game looks like it's gonna be in first person. However, I do hope they implement both options like they did later on with Village, because they gave the option to
Right.
play
Yeah.
third over the shoulder and then first person. I hope they do
Oh, cool.
Yes.
for this game.
I would love
Initial
that.
initial release, not having to wait for time to go by for
Right.
a update for that option.
Yeah. Because then I'd be feeling like I'm too close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get up over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessary at all.
I can't shoot you if you.
No, you got it just your hands like in front of
All
you,
up in
blocking
here.
like.
Yeah, right. I guess I'll run up and punch him. He's so close.
No, I felt like, I guess that's a good commentary. I know we'll probably go deeper dive in this before, and we probably have
Yeah.
talked about it before as well. But
we
later
have
on
more
we might
time.
go back in. But I will say this: 7 and 8, 7 Biohazard and 8 Village, which whatever. I felt like I enjoyed Village more than I enjoyed 7. However, both games are still kind of like not it for me. Mainly because I don't like the main protagonist. There's just nothing to him, and also because while they are good, creepy games, and I think that's why they get praised so much. Like, oh, Resident Evil's scary again. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like to me, it feels like indie horror game, but not necessarily Resident Evil. And I think that kind of disappointed me about those entries. And this looks like it's like much like Village, it's trying to put a foot in both worlds. Village did a little bit more to bring classic Resident Evil elements into it a bit, but it still felt off. And this game looks like it's trying to merge those worlds again. But I really felt like the vibe was like, this could be like, along the lines of like Slender Man or some other horror game that isn't Resident Evil. And yeah, it's scary and it's thrilling, but like it doesn't have the same vibe, and it's hard for me to put into words. But I will also say I felt like first person was a cheap trick, because it's like, oh, well, if everything pops out into your face, then of course it's scarier. I'm like, I want you to work a little bit harder than that
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
get the scares. So that's
I would love if we had multiple protagonists to play with. I think it would be cool to see from different perspectives and to have a lot of
Like 6.
I excel here, but I suck here. You know what I mean? Like I think if we had very similar like Resident Evil Outbreak, if you remember that. So like
Okay.
Resident Evil Outbreak was very much where
barely, yeah.
they had all of these various different survivors, and they all. Oh, I think we lost Phil. There he is.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, for like a second. But they had all of these various different options, but they excelled in their area of expertise. And I think it would be cool to see from different perspectives where, like, this guy may be great in combat over here, but this woman is focused on healing or something like that. Not saying, like, it had to go in specifically to work with, like, in a multiplayer type of situation, but I would love it if it was like a linear story.
Yeah.
Told from various different perspectives, and if we rock with a couple of different protagonists for much longer, that would be cool too. But I think it would be cool to see from a survivor standpoint that everyone is a little different and experiences the aftermath in a different way.
I haven't played Outbreak in like a very long time.
No, me either. It's been a minute, but not Skip reinforcing gender roles. Why can't Homie be the healer and Homegirl be the combat ready?
Oh no, I don't. You know, it's
you were just
it's not necessarily that.
I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah,
don't
and maybe
overthink this.
And maybe it was a bias. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Nah. Don't we try to switch up?
I was going off of her look, you know, like it doesn't seem like she gonna do a whole lot in terms of combat. She woke up strapped to a table.
I mean, you didn't play 7 and 8, but neither did Ethan really. I mean, they kind of changed him up a little over time, but.
Yeah, they do.
But like,
for her in particular, it just seems
drastically too.
Yeah, I mean, they show her strapped to a table.
Like I got a story. I got a story
Yeah.
to tell. I'm looking for the story, or I'm looking for my mom, and you know, she could become equipped. You know.
Personally, I'm still waiting on that co-op Resident Evil game. Personally, that's what I'm waiting on.
Same.
I don't know when we're ever gonna get that again. I saw that they said that they're taking down. I think it was Reverse off of all platforms. I believe it was the Resident Evil Reverse one. They said they're taking that off completely.
It was awful.
That's embarrassing.
We played it once or twice and was like, this is fun for stupidity, but in terms of like really enjoying the game. I feel like it was a missed opportunity for them to be able to do that with Resident Evil 2. I think the two sides of the coin would have been great to work in same time. I think they had like the second run for Claire, and that came out a little bit later after the release and things of that nature, and it kind of married with the first scenario. But I think that would have been a really cool aspect, considering if we're upping the game from the previous iteration, which was 2 disc. And it was still within the same timeline, all that good stuff. I think it would have been cool this time around to have, you know, simultaneous gameplay. I think that would have been cool. But
you mean like a co-op version of Resident Evil 2?
Yeah. Like
he was, playing.
I mean, they have the 2 scenarios. They have Leon's side, and then you have Claire's side. And when you play both sides, it's around the same time, but you know, like from the opposite side of that gate, you know what I mean, or when they get blown back on either side of the car, it would have been cool to play with your buddy around the same time. I know
Yeah.
it would have been difficult for it to link at the
see.
same time, but I think it would have been cool if you couldn't get further in this particular story until your other partner, whoever's playing Leon or whoever's playing Claire, got to this particular part, and then you move on. It's kind of like not
Like
necessarily
Portal 2 or something.
specifically
Or-
like Split Fiction or like It Takes Two, but in terms of like I can't move any further.
Yeah, like,
until-
For example, when they got those like
until Drado-
those
I feel
those-
you. That's an
when they when they got those doors or those gates like fenced off, and you need to like get the bolt cutters to cut them, and you can't progress until that door is open.
Yeah.
Maybe Leon can bolt it open, and then Claire can be able to finally get through that door type deal if somebody else is
Yeah.
playing her character.
Or Claire might have a heart key over here.
Yeah,
and needs
yeah.
to give it to Leon or leave
Which-
it behind or put it in
which
a
that
particular
was-
spot for him to retrieve it.
That was in the game. It was you couldn't use a key when you was a one player. Like it was Claire who couldn't use, I think,
Right.
the clover key or the heart
The
key,
key
whichever
was
one it was,
specific
and then
to you.
Leon couldn't use one of the keys. Yeah.
yeah.
But I think it would be cool if like
Yeah.
Leon needs
Yeah,
this
I'm
key,
saying.
but he can't find it. He doesn't have access to this side, and I don't have access to the door, so I need to be able to give him the key so he can open. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
certain things
Exactly.
I
really work
see.
hand in
Essentially, you're describing Zero if it was actually co-op instead of switching manually between characters.
Between the two.
Because that was
Yeah.
like
Right,
a lot
right.
of Resident Evil Zero. Yeah,
Exactly.
I
Like,
think
you
that
have to
was their
stand on this
attempt
plate.
to sort of experiment with moving towards a co-op title, which did take them some years after. But like, I think Zero was like a swing and a miss, but a good swing at trying to figure out how can we do the two protagonists like concurrently and
Working
have them
hand in
interact
hand.
more. Yeah. Still split
Like,
them
they
up,
need
but like
each
have
other.
them. Yeah. I think that was the impetus for Zero. I think that idea would actually be a good way to try and remake Zero. I
Agreed.
get why they didn't do it
Agreed.
for 2, but it's not a bad idea for 2. I think it would have been. I think it would for 2. It would have been a great extra mode. I don't think I want it to be like the default way you play the game.
Yeah,
but
for
like I
sure.
do think it would have been like an interesting like addition. Like, do you want more way to play the game? That you can make it like, and I really do want them to add more cooperative stuff in Resident Evil. And if we only have ever had 5
it
and
would
6,
be-
really.
I think it would be so much fun.
And I feel
I
like
think
it's
it would
really
be
cool. Yeah.
kinda, it would just switch up the gameplay a little bit in terms of completing the story.
Yeah.
Like I need my buddy in order to complete the story. With Claire and with Leon, like you could play them
Yeah.
individually and they're going to get to the end regardless. But I think in some stories in that universe, like we all need each other, kind of like when we watched Death Island. I think it was, they all needed each other,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that would have been cool. That would have been a cool DLC if they wanted to add it.
Yeah. Well, true.
Overall
Yeah,
consensus, are we looking forward to this game? Are we gonna play it?
I'm looking for
that's the real question. We can talk about it all day, but are we gonna play it and are we gonna buy it? That's the real question.
Right.
I need a confirmation of like who I'm playing as and what the perspective is. Because otherwise,
truly.
I'm not just buying it because it's the next Resident Evil. I know I have some
Right.
friends who absolutely will, because like that's
Resident
their
Evil.
shit.
I'm that
right,
friend.
and I don't blame them. But like, I'm a hardcore Resident Evil fan, but I need it to feel like Resident Evil, and 7 and 8 didn't do it for me, so I'm gonna have to wait and see on this one. So as of right now, no.
Go ahead, Sid.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Okay.
The reason why is because I still have 7 and 8 to play.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so
Right.
That's
it
fair.
won't be soon. Just
That's
because
fair.
I have to catch up with
Practical
the story
reason
and,
for it.
But depending on the buzz of it all, and people start saying that it's great and it's phenomenal and all those things, I may want to switch into it.
Don't worry, I'll be our guinea pig. I always am.
7 and 8 first, so I can understand what's going on.
I'll be the guinea pig. That's fine. I'll be the guinea pig. That's fine.
I definitely want to play it. I
do too. Same.
For sure want to play it just because I want to be able to see the aftermath of Raccoon City.
Yeah,
I
for
feel
sure,
like
for
me
sure.
Being a fan of 2 alone is enough to be like, I want to venture back. So
It's
I'm
a
curious to see
cool
what they do.
glimpse that we haven't gotten before because, we never really see it after the bomb. Leon describes it in 4.
Just leave.
Obviously, you're running away from it in 3 as Jill, and the very tail end of 2, Leon, Claire, and Sherry, get the fuck out of Dodge. So, which is also cool that 2 and 3 are kind of concurrent as well.
I think
What I will say is, we did talk about that on the Resident Evil Death Island episode, that it's all one bigger story. Like, it's never just one story. There's all these facets and angles to it, and you just keep zooming out. One thing that concerns me about that methodology is that I didn't necessarily love tying 7 Village back to the roots of Resident Evil, so to speak. Again, no spoilers, but there is an effort. And 7 initially feels like it's pretty divorced from everything else. But then as you play on through Village in particular, you find out no, it is going to tie into the main story we've been playing, which is my big criticism of 7. I was like, this feels like this has nothing to do with anything. I don't know.
Until you get to the very end and you're like, what the fuck? What?
Right. And because 7 and 8 are titles that I didn't like narratively, I don't know if I want them to keep doubling down on that. I don't know if I want
who are making these?
Yeah, I don't want Requiem to take more of that 7-8 energy and say it's even more canon to the rest of the games now. I'm like, I don't know if I need it.
Copy that.
It seems like every sequel since then, since the original locations, they're like, now we need to up the ante on the location. Where can we go that's a little bit more
exotic and
different from Raccoon City, or different from RPD or Spencer Mansion, or any of those. And so then the environment is what changes the gameplay. But now the gameplay has changed tremendously, and now we're going back to the roots, essentially.
Right.
Just because we've been gone from this place for so long, and I think that is what fans have been wanting, or maybe we didn't know that we wanted it as much. We wanted a semblance of what came before, and so I'm curious to see if they stay within that that scene and just up the ante and see how things have evolved, which it seems like that's the way that they're going, is that the evolution of things since decimated.
If Resident Evil 2 and 3, if Raccoon City is essentially like their version of Chernobyl or whatever, or Ground Zero of some sort, it would be interesting to see what kind of creatures have evolved from that. Because some nastiness is still there. If there are any people who have wandered back in there and how they're surviving, that is a very interesting thing that I actually had not thought of. Once they bombed it, I was like, oh, Raccoon City's done. Yeah. I never once considered going back. So that is one of the only interesting things about this trailer for me, is just what are the prospects that Skip is saying? What can we see if we do venture back there? But for me personally, I've just been ever since 6, I'm just can you show me what happens after 6? You introduce so many different new characters, you introduce so many different tensions and complex relationships, and the world is different because that thing that happens in China in 6, that just decimates a city. The world is different because the further you go forward in Resident Evil continuity, the more fucked everything is by viruses and bioweapons and whatever. So I'm show me that. It looks like they were trying to do that, but my only caveat is do we have to use these characters in this vibe though? But we'll see. I might be turned
yeah.
from a hater to a lover.
Let me
you know?
let me read some of these
See more.
because Professor got some stuff to say. Professor
Oh,
said
please.
with Outbreak, one of the character from the game is the mother of this character. So apparently there's a character in Outbreak that is the mother of Grace, which I'm sure
So that's the
if
nut-
we
that's the
remembered
main
last
character.
names, we would probably know that, but I don't remember anybody's last
Right.
names.
Yeah.
That's
So-
interesting to tie to Outbreak because
It's
I
been
think
so
of
long
Outbreak as
ago.
a complete spin-off. Like, wasn't Outbreak there's Outbreak and there's Survivor, so I always get them mixed up. One of them was first person,
I don't remember.
and
Outbreak,
one of them.
so-
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So Outbreak was during the initial events of Raccoon City, but it opened up the locations a little bit more. So they would be at places like the zoo while it was going down and have to fight
That's
zombified
cool.
animals, and then you had labs over here and stuff like that.
But
Like, I
what
guess
was the perspective? Was it third person or first person?
It was first person.
Outbreak?
No, third person.
Okay.
Third person.
Okay,
And,
so you can see your character. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it was, of course, their attempt at multiplayer during a time of PS2, I think it was.
Yeah,
And,
right.
And so then it was a lot of trying to figure out like how that online stuff was going to work, kind of. But it was playing from a lot of various different vantage points, and everybody had their own lane. You had like, I don't know, like a teacher, security guard,
Right.
a reporter, things of that nature. So that might be the character. If I can remember correctly, there was a female reporter, and that would make sense if she's like a journalist, and her
Gotcha.
mom might have died back then. I'm not so sure.
They should have remade Outbreak then. If that's the case, they should have just stuck to the whole
give us
remake.
Outbreak.
The
Or
remake
is it the
thing
inkling
they've been
that
doing.
there's going to be? Yeah, like, is this an inkling of? Because even her boss looked like a former character who was like just like a normal everyday cop, I think it was. So like I wonder if we may get some multiple protagonists here. I'm curious.
maybe.
I'm just curious to see more, and I'm sure they're gonna do a state of play where they drop like a gameplay.
A gameplay for sure.
And break things down. What's different? Like they did.
They
Like they did
tend
the
to.
Village. I think they did like a whole press thing for
Yep.
the Village and
Sure did.
showed Lady Dimitri.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's
Professor
move on to the next trailer.
Professor says I am buying it.
Oh, go ahead.
Professor says I am buying it one day, hoping to get the collector's edition. But yeah, we got somebody who's going to play it as well. So me and Professor we'll play for y'all. We got y'all, and then we'll let y'all know. We'll let y'all know how the game
That
is.
sounds about right. Professor jumped on Suicide Squad when we were like,
True.
And Drado's usually the first one to be like,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Drado was the first one to be like, I'll play Rivals for sure.
For sure.
Him and Star Cardinal, shout out to Star Cardinal. So
Yeah, we was on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, Phil. It's about that time.
it's about that
Right.
time to wrap up. So I think we're going to have to, y'all. This party has been everything. This block party has been so much fun to host for y'all. We will come back to some of these other topics in a future pod episode. We might do a part 2 to this. We might find another way to get it to you. But don't worry, we will get to all the stuff that we had promised in our at the beginning. So
absolutely.
but we have to let Drado go to be celebrated further. Thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for kicking it with us. It is so good to be back here at HRD Mode Selected. Season 2 is just getting started. We have so much in store for each and every one of you, and thank you for rocking with us this far. Do we have the link tree?
Yes, we do.
The
So
link tree, yes.
yep. So we're gonna do the socials in the chat here. Boom, boom, boom. There's the link tree. Please check it out. There are links to our solo stuff as well as our HRD Mode Selected stuff. We have a new pod episode on YouTube out right now. talking about the PS5 Pro. So if you're interested on seeing what we had to say or hearing what we had to say, check that out. Definitely recommend it. It was a good time. It was a good time. And then of course Discord, guys. Definitely join us in Discord. Come join in on the festivities. We have a lot of fun. Come chat with us. Come game with us. Come, enjoy some of the rooms where you can post stuff. It's a good time over there. So yeah, take advantage for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Skip, anything you want to say before we move off?
No, I'm just looking forward to season 2, us being able to do this a little bit more often. We've gotten a lot of technical kinks out of the way, and we're still adding more features and trying to make this as immersive as possible and as entertaining as possible beyond, just our, hands and faces. But beyond that, we want to be able to serve you as best as possible. And as you can see, this reaction screen is just the beginning of it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for always showing your support. And to those who are thinking about joining, like, what are you waiting on? What's going on?
Yes.
Yes,
That part.
like, right? Gaming is life. Again, Drado said, join our Discord. Make sure that we, you get notified that we are going live and all that good stuff. But
Yep.
thank you.
Oh yeah,
guys.
that's also a great feature of the Discord. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
And then
Yeah.
we'll be definitely back for a part 2 of this. Like Phil said, we'll have a part 2 of this, and then we got more content on the way, guys. So definitely look out for that. We got some stuff to
finish
talk
what we
about.
start at hard
Yes.
mode. Yes.
Yes,
See it
yes.
through, no matter how brutal. That is the hard mode way. And yeah.
Is that what
And-
we
and-
do?
and
'Cause my
Professor, I
moderation
know-
is different.
Professor, I know you wanted to hear my thoughts on Ironheart. I got you during part 2 of this live pod. I got you. I got some things to say
yes.
about it.
We
I
had
got you.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about
review
Ironheart.
stuff
Sure.
to cover. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And Professor, thanks for rocking with us. Thank you to Samba Music. Thank you to everybody who came through.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess. I guess. Drado, do you want to take us out?
Sure. Like we always say, guys, be easy, go hard. And when life hits you hard, you just hit back harder. And we will catch you guys during part 2 of the live pod.
Yeah. See you next campaign.
Have a great one, guys.
Bye, y'all. Enjoy your weekend.
Holiday weekend.